Check, check. Testing, testing.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Red Mountain High School in our pregame and senior night festivities as we honor our football and sports medicine class of 2021. Now introducing our senior football players, beginning with number 2, Nas Bryant. Nas is escorted by his mom and dad, Keon and Keelan Bryant. His favorite football memory was playing his first game of varsity. After high school, he plans to play football in college and to major in business. Our next senior is number 3, Drake Boren. Escorted by mom and dad, Stacy and Brad Boren. His favorite football memory is playing flag football and youth ball with George, Evan, Cole, and Ethan since we were 4. He plans on serving a 2-year mission after high school. Next is number 7, Cole Loria. Escorted by mom and sister Cole and Sophia Loria. His favorite memory was playing in front of the crowd versus Mountain View. He plans to attend NAU on the Lumberjack Scholarship and major in behavioral analysis. Come on. Oh, my God. This is number 9, George Ramirez. Escorted by mom Sandra, dad George, brother Andres, and brother Daniel. His favorite football memory is dodgeball at football camp. He plans to play football in college and get a degree in healthcare. Next is number 10, Evan Svoboda. Escorted by dad and mom Scott and Nicole Svoboda. His favorite moment was from the summer before my freshman year, when his parents told him he was going to be able to play football at Red Mountain instead of Mountain View. He will play college football and major in business administration, specializing in sports management and finance. As a backup plan, he has recently been accepted to the W.P. Carey School of Business at ASU. Next up, we have brothers number 12, Arthur, and number 16, Anthony Carrington. Escorted by mom Dara, sister Cassidy, sister Abby, sister Faith, grandma Sydney, brother Landon, brother Jesse, and brother Anthony. Arthur's favorite memory was when he played JV, and after we beat Mountain View, the coaches poured water on Coach Runge. He plans to work and attend Mesa Community College, then transfer to ASU to play football and major in his secondary education. Anthony's favorite memory is being with the team and playing, making them part of my family and having fun with all of them and the coaches. After high school, he plans to work and then continue to play college football. Next is number 15, Ethan Peterson, escorted by mom and dad Carrie and Leo Aviles, sisters Gianna and Mia, and brother Boomer. His favorite memory was the Battle of Brown Road last year, beating Mountain View with the stands being jacked. His plans after high school is to be a good man. Next is number 19, Gabe Cook. Gabe is escorted by his dad, Jesse Cook. His top memory was walking on the field at Sun Devil Stadium for last year's championship game. He plans to try and continue football at the college level. Next is number 22, Andrew Bonham, escorted by mom and dad and sister Catherine. His favorite football memory is taking the field every Friday night with his brothers. He plans to work and attend Arizona State University and major in communications. What? We have another set of Butlers. Up next is number 24, Daniel Butler, and number 32, Jared Butler. Escorted by dad Javier, mom Priscilla, sister Taylor, and their grandparents. Daniel's favorite memory is traveling out of state for 7-on-7 tournaments, and he plans to attend ASU to major in engineering. Jared's favorite memory is going to Payson camps with the team. He plans to train to become a firefighter. Next is number 25, Cody Mclaughlin, escorted by his mom, dad, and sister. His favorite memory from football is the dinners on Thursdays and just hanging with the guys. After high school, he plans to become a fully licensed agent with Primerica. Next is number 35, Ethan Morris, escorted by mom and dad, Scott Morris and Amy Priestley. His favorite football memory would be going to the state championship game last year. Although it didn't turn out the way we wanted, it was still fun being there with all his brothers. After high school, he plans to join the Air Force Reserves and go to school to become an officer in the Air Force. Next is number 36, Luke Evans, escorted by his mom and dad, Naomi and Luke. His favorite memory was getting his first tackle last year. His future plans are to go to college and get an IT degree. Next is number 38, Tate Gorgon, escorted by his mom and dad. His favorite memory was getting the experience to play in the state championship at ASU Stadium. He plans to pursue a job in law enforcement. Next is number 42, Joey Rasiope, escorted by his mom and dad, Barbara and Michael Rasiope. His favorite football memory is holding a record for throwing the most interceptions in a game. He plans to attend U of A and major in mechanical engineering. Next is number 43, Jake Meenan, escorted by his parents, Mark and Christine Meenan. His favorite football memory was going to the state championship. He plans on working and traveling this summer, in the fall to attend Mesa Community College, and after that transferring to ASU to major in business. Next is number 45, Elijah Palmer, escorted by mom and dad, Courtney and Hugh Palmer. His favorite football memory is coming back to play senior year to be with his teammates again. He plans to play rugby in college at U of A or BYU and major in construction management. Next is number 50, Christian Krieger. He is escorted by his parents, David and Geneva Krieger. His favorite memory was when they went to state last year and almost won. I think the loss actually made us closer because it made us able to work better together to win it all this year. He plans to work and attend Mesa Community College in the engineering program while playing football there. After that, he plans to enlist in the Army Corps of Engineers. Next is number 52, Robert Tallamontes, escorted by mom Susie, dad Pete, and sister Nina. His favorite memory is going to camp and playing dodgeball. He plans to work and attend Mesa Community College. After that, to transfer to ASU for a business degree. Next is number 53, Joshua Campos, escorted by his dad, Johnny Campos. His favorite football memory is when there was a storm during practice, and afterward, everyone went and slid through the grass like a slip and slide. He plans to attend Mesa Community College, then transfer to ASU to major in biomedical engineering. Next is number 54, Vincent Glovna, escorted by his mom and Dean Wolf. His favorite memory is spending time with teammates, especially at football camps. He plans to be a fighter pilot in the United States military. Next is number 55, Aiden Peevler. He's escorted by his mom and dad. His favorite football memory is all the friendships he made along the way. He has enjoyed the many hours they've spent together on and off the field. He would like to continue to play football in college while majoring in engineering. Next is number 56, Sosaya Mapakatalo, escorted by mom and dad Sione and Rose and two sisters Victoria and Sapuita. His favorite memory is chilling with the boys. After high school, he is committed to USC back in May, so he'll be enrolling into the University of Southern California next year. Yes, sir. Kobe Sarna. Our next senior is number 58, Kobe Sarna. He's escorted by his mom and dad, Michael and Cheryl Sarna. His favorite football memory happened after the loss of his friend and teammate. His dad asked him to continue to represent him by wearing his son's football number 58. He plans on playing football in college and majoring in business. He's hoping to play with or against his cousin at Oregon State.
Number 65, Victor Castellano.
Our next senior is number 65, Victor Castellano. Escorted by his dad and mom, Nick and Michelle Castellano. The memory that makes him laugh is when they were running Brown Mountain as a team and someone let go of a monster truck tire. We were taking up the mountain and the tire ran him over. His plan after high school is to get a degree in history and possibly play football at the next level and then join the Navy as an officer.
Number 71, Michael McCuston.
Next is number 71, Michael McCuston, escorted by Deanna and Steve McCuston, his parents. His favorite football memory was walking into the field as a team in last year's championship game. He can't wait to do it again this year. He plans to go to college and major in accounting and finance.
Number 74, Ian Newling.
Next, number 74, Ian Newling, escorted by his father and his mother, Kevin and Bella Newling. His favorite memory is when we were halfway through the 14 Hills at football camp, had finally gotten that boost of energy and felt like he could do just about anything. After high school, he plans to attend the Air Force Academy and become an officer. Next is number 75, Caden McGee, escorted by mom and dad, Stacy McGee. His favorite football memory was spending time with all his friends at camp last year and growing closer to them. It made me feel like a part of a family, he said. He plans to attend the Ira A. Fulton School of Engineering at Arizona State University with a major in electrical engineering. Next is number 80, Gage Skidmore, escorted by mom and dad, Greg and Heidi Skidmore, brother and sister, Cannon and Olivia Skidmore. His favorite football memory is playing at ASU Stadium for the state championship and having his best game of the season. He plans on serving a 2-year mission for his church and then going to college in Utah.
Number 81, Zaire Ibarra.
Next is number 81, Zaire Ibarra, escorted by his mom. His favorite memory has to be sophomore year where the whole team went to Shepherd Pool. His future plans are to attend MCC and transfer to ASU to get a degree in business.
89, Cole McBride.
Next is number 89, Cole Mcbride. He is escorted by his parents, Andrew and Suzette Mcbride. His favorite memory was growing up and playing football with so many of my teammates and the friendships he has made with them. He plans to serve a 2-year mission for his church and attend BYU, where he will be a pre-med student. And number 91, Michael Sneed, escorted by his mom and dad, Maureen and Mike Sneed. His favorite football memory was the first day of pads with him and Cody Mack on defensive individuals. His plans after high school are to attend NAU, majoring in finance, and then hopefully law school at Syracuse University.
We're moving on to sports medicine with Mckenna Ashley.
Now it's time to honor our senior sports medicine, beginning with Mckenna Ashley. Escorted by her mom and dad, her favorite football memory was meeting new people and getting a hands-on experience with the athletes. She plans to go to Chandler Gilbert Community College and study sports medicine.
Taylor Black.
Our next senior is Taylor Black, escorted by her mom and dad, Amanda and Marcus Miller. She's in sports med, but being out there on the field with the boys is always the best memory. She plans to go to NAU to become an athletic trainer.
Kaylee Cash.
Our next senior is Kaylee Cash, escorted by her mom, Carrie. Her favorite football memory was being in the sports medicine, and she plans after high school to attend NAU to pursue her dream of becoming a paramedic. Elena Guzman Soto is the next senior. She is escorted by athletic trainer Shelly Herseth. Her favorite football memory is when she got her first injury. In the future, she plans to attend NAU and major in athletic training. And our final sports medicine senior is McKay Mason. She is escorted by her sister Lily. Her favorite football memory is getting to watch the games. After high school, she plans to attend ASU and major in kinesiology. Kinesiology?
Last one of all. No chair tonight.
Kinesiology? Applause for our football players and sports medicine seniors, class of 2021. Thank you for everything that you have contributed to our sports programs. We hope you have a fantastic senior year and best of luck in your future endeavors.
Mike, can you come over to the ground check?
Okay, now for business.
speed. Ball left, ball to the side. Let's go, get a good pop. Okay, go. Good. Here we go. All right, ball carriers. Set, go. Go. Set. Ball's over here. Go. Set, go. Side out. Here's the ball. There you go. Let's go.
very pleasant good evening from Red Mountain High School on the campus of Red Mountain on the Red Mountain TV via the YouTube network. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside James Boovy. We are about ready to commence the rematch of the 2019 6A state championship game between Red Mountain and the Liberty Lions. And tonight, James, well, on paper, you've got two outstanding football programs. The heritage and the history is rich on both sides. But tonight, a little chance at redemption for Red Mountain, and for Liberty, a chance to let everyone know, hey, that last week's game against the Chandler Wolves, no fluke. We can play football. We just happen to play the 7th best team in the country early on in the preseason ranking, and the Chandler Wolves. Liberty stood up with those guys toe-to-toe for a quarter and some change, and then, Chandler does what they do best, but it's a good one tonight on paper.
Yeah, it should be a great game here tonight, Kevin. It's a rematch, as you said, of the 6A state championship game from December the 6th, 2019 out at Sun Devil Stadium. And we were talking a little bit before the broadcast tonight how some people were saying that Red Mountain had this game scheduled, had this game kind of circled on the calendar, and they probably do to a certain extent, but Red Mountain's going to come out here and do what they do best. And Liberty, they're going to come out here and battle as well. And they played a very tough Chandler team, as you mentioned last week, the 7th best team in the nation, so definitely a great litmus test for the Liberty Lions. On the other hand, Red Mountain against Westwood last week, 43-0. They played really well, but it was against Westwood. So tonight, we really get to see what this Red Mountain team is made of.
Yeah, that's a good point, James. For the Mountain Lions, they need to kind of temper their enthusiasm as they throttled a Westwood team 43-0, and they won that game handily. But I will say this: Westwood was improved. They gave Red Mountain fits through a quarter. It was almost a 2-touchdown ball game at the half. In fact, it was 15-0. So Westwood, they traded punches with these guys, but at the end, Red Mountain was just going to be too good, too physical for 4 quarters of football. They come out with a win. They beat Westwood for the 12th consecutive time, and that's outstanding when you look at the rivalry with their East Valley region foe. For Red Mountain, they are now 3-1 in openers under head coach Mike Peterson. The program is 19-14 in home openers, but it was really the beginning of a new era at quarterback. Still some intrigue as to who would be the starting quarterback for Red Mountain. It was announced earlier this week that Evan Swoboda has won the job by virtue of his performance in camp and what he did against Westwood. Jalen Daniels will serve as the backup going forward.
Evan Swoboda has earned that position, Kevin, and I talked last week during the broadcast at Westwood. A great platform for Coach Mike Peterson to have 2 really good quarterbacks in his arsenal.
One other point for Red Mountain, they enter this week's contest as the number 3 ranked team in the 6A state championship tournament. In fact, that's the preseason rankings, and all, of course, through week 2's media poll. We're going to step aside as we present the colors of the national anthem here on Senior Night on Red Mountain TV. We welcome you back inside the press box high atop Red Mountain High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Boovy. A little pregame here for you. We'll kick off here in just a couple of moments, but a couple of other quick notes. We mentioned that Red Mountain is 3rd in the 6A conference most recent media poll via Arizona Varsity. And for Red Mountain, congratulations to Skyler Edmonds. He was the Lions Den podcast Varsity Player of the Week against Westwood. For Skyler Edmonds, a breakout game for him in a sense. a very polished, outstanding player from a season ago. 9 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 behind the line, an interception, and he was our guest on the show. So Skyler Edmonds, outstanding effort for him. And then James, how about it? The Frosh and the JV, they take care of things. Mike Peterson named Joe Ulati as the head coach for the freshman team, and Joe did not disappoint in his first game. The Mountain Lions, they knocked off this spirited Liberty freshman team. They beat them 40-37. And what's interesting to note about that win for the freshman squad, Liberty had beaten Chandler's freshman team just a week prior. So for Joe Ulati, congratulations to him, an outstanding victory. The Jays took it on the chin just a little bit. Coach Runge's team fell 26-14, but it was a chippy game at both levels, the freshman and the JV. So a lot to look forward to here tonight in this varsity contest.
Well, I will echo your congratulations to Coach Ulati, doing a great job there with the younger levels here at Red Mountain football. And it all starts down at those lower levels. That's where the kids learn the technique. And when they get to this varsity level, they're ready to play and ready to make an impact in the game. And a very good program has been instilled here by Coach Mike Peterson and all the way down through these coaching staff.
Right now, the captains are at the 50-yard line, right over the emblazoned Red Mountain logo for the coin toss. Parker McClure representing Red Mountain. He's supported behind his captains standing at the near 50. As, of course, everybody is practicing and experiencing social distancing, but George Ramirez, Evan Swoboda, and Skyler Edmonds, the captains, along with Parker McClure. And so let's get you our keys to the game here tonight, James. For the defense for Red Mountain, it's all about stopping the run. Zacchaeus Cooper is a big-time threat. He's a big back. He's a powerful back. He's got speed. He's a great receiver. We're going to have to stop the run tonight. For Red Mountain's defense, Kyle Enders wants to limit big plays, and certainly like they do each and every week, they want to get off the field on third down. For the offense, it's no question. They need to protect the football here tonight. They need to get Evan Swoboda involved early, and they need to get him in rhythm early. That's a big point. And then they want to run the rock tonight. They want to run the football. A lot of balance in that win over Westwood, so we'll see a little bit more of that tonight. Special teams continue to develop. Kicker Luke Evans, right off the pitch, right onto the gridiron. Luke Evans, a nice game last week, 4 out of 5 in point after tries. Did not attempt the field goal, but the special teams, we'd like to see him kick the ball in the end zone and limit returns for Liberty here tonight. And then finally, my impact players of the game, it's got to be George Ramirez, coming off a 107-yard 2-touchdown performance against the Lions in the state championship game at Sun Devil Stadium just a year ago. So Georgie's my pick tonight, along with Parker McClure, the leading tackler on this football team. And then Cole Loria, one of those guys that can get to the quarterback. Perhaps Cole Loria can get to Brock Mass tonight and slow that passing game down for the Liberty Lions.
Yeah, the defense is going to be a big factor here tonight, especially against Liberty. Obviously, they have a great offense, and I'm excited to see as well, Kevin, what's going to go on up front with the offensive line. That's going to pave the way for the running game for Red Mountain, and also being able to get Evan Swoboda in rhythm, as you mentioned.
The 2019 Red Mountain season redefined the meaning of walking the fine line of winning and losing. One could make a case. Last year's season came down to just 2 plays. 2 plays. The Perry stuff at the goal line on running back Ty McElroy, and that 4-overtime epic thriller, and the interception of Hiram Bourne in the end zone at Sun Devil Stadium, playing for the state championship in overtime. It was those 2 plays that separated the Mountain Lions from going to a ring-sizing party and not. Make no mistake about it, there were only winners standing on Freight Cush Field when the sand went through the hourglass. Red Mountain and Liberty, Act 2, coming up next. And we are underway, back deep. For Red Mountain is Josiah Villanueva, and he's belted at the 19-yard line. Special teams play made by the Liberty Lions. Coming up there, making a nice tackle that time for Liberty. Looked like it was, check that, go to the other roster. Number 5, Marquise Corley, a 2-way player, a returning letterman for Colin Thomas and the Liberty Lions, playing in their second game under the direction of Colin Thomas. Took over for Mark Smith a year ago. Mark Smith has returned to his alma mater in the state of Washington. Evan Swoboda, named the starting quarterback earlier this week, takes a high shotgun snap, puts it in the gut of the tailback, Nas Bryant, and Nas Bryant, with a big hole off that right side, has positive yardage. He just carves off 5 yards right there in a big chunk for Nas Bryant, James.
First play from scrimmage for Red Mountain, a great push up front from the offensive line, and Nas Bryant running full speed up the B gap. An outstanding job on the first play there. A nice pickup there for Red Mountain on play number 1.
Get you the starters for Swoboda up front. The left tackle is Javi Aranda Pinion, 6'3", 308. The left guard is Victor Castellano, 6'3", 325. The center, Aiden Peevler, 6'1", 225. As we go right back to the ground game, and this is something he kind of hoped for here for Josh Barge, calling plays in just his second game, but a run there. Not as much yardage to work with that time. Coming up for that carry, that was George Ramirez, his first toe to the ball game. We'll get you the additional starters up front. The right guard is number 52, Robert Tallamontes, 6'2", 250. And then Ian Newling on that right tackle spot. You'll see Mr. Bray there, Max Bray will get some time there, as Max will be your long snapper. So, possession play here, 3rd and 4 from the Red Mountain, 26-yard line. A hard count used there by Swoboda. Back to throw with time. He throws over the middle, and the ball's going to be dropped. The ball was dropped by Daniel Butler. Butler playing out of that slot position. He had the ball right in his wickets and just dropped it. That would have been a first down. And unfortunately for Red Mountain, they're going to have to turn it over to the punting unit in Luke Evans.
Probably going to have to chalk that one up to first drive jitters right there. Unfortunately, Daniel Butler was open in the middle of the field. A nice ball placement there from Evan Swoboda, but unable to come up with the reception for Daniel Butler. And they're going to have to punt it away here.
James, this marks only the second meeting between these two schools. Their first meeting came in that state championship game just a season ago. So it's Evans back deep for the return man for the Liberty Lions. On the move, that is Kalen Napa, returning letterman for the Liberty Lions. And for Liberty, they will start their first drive of the season, or I beg your pardon, the first drive of this football game in Red Mountain territory, as Eli Palmer comes up to make that special teams tackle on the return man, Kalen Knapp.
And how about the speed there from Knapp? He was trying to break one off the left-hand side there, but great job of closing that down in a hurry on the far side of the field there for that Red Mountain special teams unit.
Liberty taking the field, coming off a 44-10 loss to Chandler. They were down 23-3 at the break, and it'll be Brock Mast, the senior, starting at quarterback. A little bit more athletic than Jonah Guevara and more of a passer. First play of the game is a handoff to Zacchaeus Cooper. Cooper is the lead dog for this ground game for the Liberty Lions. Just under 700 yards rushing a season ago. He missed that state championship game due a lower leg injury, and he just gashed off 8 yards there. Play fake, it's Mast to the outside. Making the reception and going down the sideline is Grant Brunell, the sophomore, as Brunell looks to make an impact here early on in his career. He's playing football at the varsity level for the Liberty Lions, the state champions. Nice job for him to climb that positional ladder there inside that organization. He's moved himself up quickly.
Yeah, he's worked hard all off season long to perfect his craft, and it shows here tonight. He's doing a great job for Liberty.
The lineman up front, Ashton Thompson is the center for Liberty. They flip it to the wide receiver. That's Kalen Knapp again, and there's nowhere to go. Great defense for Red Mountain that time. They string him out. And it's Skyler Edmonds, the outside linebacker. Edmonds coming off a 9-tackle ball game last week. Out of that sandbacker spot, came up there to make the stick. Nice job there of reading his keys and staying home, JP.
That's exactly what it did, Kevin. 6'1", Skyler Edmonds, a great job of maintaining outside contain, forcing the action back inside where he's got help, and they shut it down on the edge there in a hurry. Great job. Skyler Edmonds had a fantastic game last week against Westwood.
Kyle Safarchek, the left tackle. He is 6'5", 290. He is certainly the anchor of that offensive line. Safarchek, they give it to Cooper as he sweeps left, and there's nowhere to go. Great pursuit up front. The defensive front four for Red Mountain all over that play. Nice job there by Josh Campos leading the way. The senior nose tackle getting it done, 5'10", 220. And for Josh Campos, an outstanding campaign last year. He had 24 tackles. Even last week, he had a couple tackles for a loss. So Josh Campos, really what Josh Campos does is he takes up a lot of space, and he's double or triple teamed a lot throughout the ball game, so that's freeing everybody else up.
Yeah, that frees up a man, and that allows everybody else to roam around and make tackles.
Mass with one streamer to his left. Play fake. Wants to throw from the pocket. Throws over the middle. It's too tall for the intended target. Once again, going for 14, Kalen Knapp. Knapp, 5'11", 190 is the intended target there. And with the coverage right there, the corner 19, Gabe Cook, all over that play. In fact, the man was beat by just a skosh, and the ball was just too much on it.
Yeah, it just had a little bit too much on it. And the reason it had too much on it is because the quarterback had to throw it away a little bit early. Great pressure coming up the middle that time from the defensive front four for Red Mountain, and that caused that errant pass.
Let's get you those guys now. The defensive end is Vincent Glovner. They were 54, 6 foot, 205. The nose tackle we mentioned, Josh Campos. Tyler K. Brown is the defensive tackle, and the cat spot is Cole Loria. Mast rolls to the near side. He wants to throw the football. He's got room in front. Here comes McClure. He dumps it over. It's picked off. It's intercepted there by Skyler Edmonds. Edmonds on the far sideline. Turns the corner. Breaks down the sideline. Edmonds with blockers in front of him. Still on his feet. At the 40, 30, 20. No one's going to find him. It's Skyler Edmonds into the end zone for a touchdown. All kinds of penalty flags. Let's see if this holds up. But Skyler Edmonds, unofficially an 85-yard return, and the entire officiating team has thrown a hanky chip down right about now. Lots of yellow on the field. But what a return by the athlete, Skyler Edmonds.
He was ball hawking that time, Kevin, right about the 20-yard line all the way down the football field here. He saw the pass. It was telegraphed from the quarterback for Liberty, and Skyler Edmonds just picked it out of the air and ran it back to the house. Penalty flags pending, of course.
Yeah, this one's going to come back. The touchdown won't stand up, but great job of anticipation by Skyler Edmonds. Back-to-back weeks with interceptions for 2-7. And how about it, though? Parker McClure read that play. He stopped the quarterback, Brock Mast, from the idea of running forward. And when McClure came in, you talk about pressure. The idea was to get rid of the football, and he did in a hurry, and he threw it to the wrong guy.
Yeah, you could see Parker McClure coming across. You could almost see his eyes getting bigger, Kevin, as he approached that Liberty quarterback. And the quarterback for Liberty, same way, had to get rid of that football in a hurry because he did not want any part of Parker McClure bearing down on him.
And, of course, Parker McClure's dad runs Chuck's Fine Meats, and that's what Parker McClure was doing. He was licking his chops right there at the quarterback for Brock Mast. So it's Swoboda back on the field. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line of Liberty. A fast-paced first couple of plays here. It's Lennox Lawson, the action man, and we get before the ball is snapped, we get a procedure penalty. And to be honest with you, James, that call was really early. I'm not sure that those guys were even set up to be in position to make that snap, but for whatever reason, they wanted to call it early. We'll get you our officiating crew here in just a second. Swoboda with time, throws the deep ball. He's got a man. The ball's caught in stride, and falling down at the 5-yard line is Drake Boren, the home run hitter last week with a 41-yard touchdown reception. Drake Boren again running a little post route, and Swoboda delivered a perfect ball on time, on target, an absolute P. Oh my, big time play. 1st and goal to go, Mountain Lions.
That was just an absolute beautiful football play, Kevin, right there. It had everything you wanted. Great protection up front. The quarterback with great form, dropping back and delivering the football. A beautiful spiral through the night sky, and Drake Boren full extension for the reception.
Swoboda to Boren for 45 yards. That's 4 yards longer than last week's big time touchdown play. Swoboda has his guys ready to go at 1st and goal to go, and the linesman up there with another false start on Red Mountain. They had a few false starts early in the game last week against Westwood, but I think the officials are really, really early with those calls. The referee tonight is Johnny Price. Our umpire is Jeff Gentry. The head line judge this evening will be Justin Nash. Our line judges are Sam Radford, Todd Whitlinger, and the side judge is Max Heckel. Our field judge this evening is Kanan Kaiser. After a 5-yard procedure penalty assessed to the Mountain Lions. Scoreless first quarter, working right to left. It's Evan Swoboda, shotgun snap. He's going to run it. Swoboda lost his footing as he tried to make a cut around the 10-yard line, and he'll go down in a heap. He'll be touched down there by the Liberty Lions. Shane Pitts there to touch him first. There's 2 guys you have to watch for on this Liberty defense. Number 8, Jack Stam. This kid is an all-world talent. He had 105 tackles a season ago. He had 14 tackles against Chandler. And you think about just the game against Chandler alone, wow. He got beat a few times over the top, but he is a physical, very, very good football player.
He's a great football player. We talked about this dude before the football game tonight, and Jack Stam is definitely a dude. He can play some football in the middle for Liberty.
Swoboda on the sweep to George Ramirez, makes the first man miss, and he tries to turn the corner inside the 10-yard line. They'll spot him around the 8, so we'll call it a productive gain of about 2 yards for Georgie Ramirez. And for Georgie, he scored 2 touchdowns last week. The first one was a conventional touchdown, a 3-yard run off the left tackle. The second touchdown was an amazing touchdown from the point of you just never know what's going to happen on special teams. And Georgie just stole it off the tee and carried it into the end zone. 65 yards later, it was a touchdown. Red Mountain took command of that football game at that point. 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. Liberty showing blitz. Shotgun snap for Swoboda. Looking right. Fires, and the ball is in and out of the hands. What looked like the intended target was Lennox Lawson. And you talked about Drake Boren was also in that area. In fact, I saw the 3. So Lawson wearing 13, Boren wearing 3. But that pass had a lot of velocity on it. Holy smokes.
Yeah, he flipped the hips on that one, did Evan Swoboda, and that ball was coming in there with a lot of heat. And unfortunately, the crossing Drake Bourne that time unable to haul that one in.
So they'll spot the ball on the far hash at the 11-yard line. Well, let's call it the 9-yard line. This will be a 26-yard attempt for Luke Evans. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is wide right. So Liberty put the rush on there, and they put a little pressure on Luke Evans under a hold of Kai Hanohano. And Hanohano, 6'2", 180. That is a specimen. He's your holder. And the first scoring opportunity of the night goes by the wayside for the Mountain Lions. So each team with a possession of the football. And we are scoreless here with 5:47 remaining in this opening quarter and this rematch of the 2019 6A title game.
Yeah, you get the sense that both teams are starting to calm down here, kind of settle into this game. We're over halfway through the first quarter, just about to halfway of the first quarter.
Mass 3 wide receivers to the wide side. They dump it off on the outside, a little bubble screen there, turning the corner, racing up down the sideline. That was Grant Brunella once again, his second catch of this ball game. So Brunell shows some speed to the edge that time, and Red Mountain have a difficult time getting to the edge to force them out, but Georgie Ramirez among friends right there to make that defensive play.
Yeah, great job there by Georgie, always flowing the right way for Red Mountain's defense, and always nice to see Coach Kyle Enders' defense swarming to the football for Red Mountain. 11 hats to the ball, that's what he preaches, and that's exactly what he gets from these guys.
Now they go to the ground game, does Brock Mast. On that previous play, that was Brock Mast to Grant Brunell for 15 yards before Eli Palmer came in there and lowered the headgear and put a pop on Zacchaeus Cooper. So that's a gain of 3. Should be 2nd and 7 from the 37-yard line of the Liberty Lions.
You have to wonder, Kevin, if Liberty might take another shot here. This is about the area of the football field where they might want to spread it out and go deep.
He's got Kalen Knapp to the near side. Knapp had 5 receptions for 30 yards last week in that loss to Chandler. In fact, Mass was 12 of 21 for a $136 and a touchdown pass. They run it, and there's nobody home. Shooting the gap right there was 32. Jared Butler, the wheelbacker, snuffed that one out, and nowhere to go with the ball was sophomore tailback Zach Wallace. You'll see Zach Wallace pair with Zacchaeus Cooper, and you also see Marquise Corley come in from time to time. Corley, a two-way player, but great job defensively there by the wheelbacker Jared Butler. 7 tackles last week. He's got another one here tonight.
He did a great job on that, a great job on the end there for the defense of Red Mountain by Jared Butler, able to almost olay that original blocker. He ran right by, overran the play, and right there to submarine it was Butler.
Credit JB with that 3-yard loss. Give him another TFL. There goes Cooper in motion. They set up a screen to the far side. It's Knapp again, makes the reception, splits the defense, goes down the sideline. He's at the 40, 30, and he's going to step out of bounds, and Knapp bumps the defensive player there. Penalty marker on the play, and I believe somebody on that line got ahead of the play just a little bit. It looks like this one might be coming back.
Yeah, that could be either a block in the back or a hold, but typically down the field like that, it's usually a block in the back.
So they're going to pick up the penalty and just say he just stepped out of bounds around the 45-yard line.
All right.
Another 15-yard pass play, this time Brock Mast to Kalen Knapp, and Knapp showed you some speed. And right now, it looks like that Red Mountain's going to have to try to defend the boundary just a little bit here this evening.
Yeah, they're going to have to spread the defense and try to start forcing things back to the inside, because right now, Liberty dangerous on the edge.
Butler showing blitz. They pick it up. Mast going far sideline. The ball is incomplete. Going for Kalen Knapp once again. How about the blitz pickup that time for Liberty? 44 in there on that. He made a nice job there. Sam Wolfer, the tight end on blitz pickup, but Jared Butler putting the pressure on as Nico Garces was in coverage on the far sideline.
Just great team defense once again there for Red Mountain. Great job up front by the defensive line, applying pressure, forcing the quarterback to force the issue somewhat, and he had to get rid of that football a little bit quicker than he wanted to with the timing for that receiver.
Another infraction, and I just don't want to beat up the officials, but gosh, they're throwing a lot of penalties here early on in this ball game, and they just haven't seen a lot of football. Neither club has played a lot of football, so to be so picky with the calls early on, hey, they got to call them like they see them. Ball's on the 49-yard line of Red Mountain. Play fake, Mass to the far side. Up the sideline and then bumped out of the play. A couple of guys there defensively for Red Mountain. Nico Garces was there, also 45, Eli Palmer. Palmer is going to get a lot of playing time here. In fact, from what I gather, earlier this week, Eli Palmer is actually pushing Jared Butler for that starting spot, if you can believe that. That's what you call healthy competition. Two really good football players pushing one another. That makes your defense better.
It makes the whole team better as a whole, especially, Kevin, because all the players on this football team do that. They know that every position is always up for competition, and every day around here at Red Mountain Football is an interview.
Previous play was Brant Brunell with his third reception of the ball game. 2nd and 10 from the Mountain Line 44-yard line. Match with a high snap, puts it into the gut of Cooper on the sweep. Cooper breaks the tackle, slips inside the 40-yard line, and he's going to be level right there. Eli Palmer and Parker McClure all over that play. And Parker McClure with a little message for Zacchaeus Cooper as he lost his hat on that play. And wouldn't you like to know what Parker McClure was blasting in the ear of Zacchaeus Cooper right there?
Boy, if I had a wireless mic that could reach down there, Kevin, I got to see all that between the binoculars. Parker McClure, just a headhunter for that Red Mountain defense. He came up there and laid the lumber on Cooper, and they exchanged pleasantries on a nice Friday night in Arizona.
Liberty 10-4 a year ago. They were 2-3 in the Desert Valley region. They lost their final home game, then they won 4 straight in the postseason to become state champions for then Mark Smith. Mark Smith was the Desert Valley Region Coach of the Year back in 2018. They run it to the sophomore. This is the tailback, Zach Wallace, with some running room right off that left tackle. Jared Butler come up to make the tackle that time, but not before Zach Wallace just gashed out 9 more yards right there and enough to move the chains here for Liberty.
Well, if you're a running back, Coach, anywhere at any level of football, that's exactly what you want to see right there. The running back hit the hole, full speed, great pad level, and that's exactly what you got on that play there.
Look at the size on that offensive line. This is Lucas Holton, the right tackle, 6'4", 270. He's an absolute beast. Ball spotted on the 27-yard line. High snap for Mass. They give it back to the sophomore once again, Wallace, the ball carrier. Initial contact made at the line of scrimmage, then he bounced his way left before Jared Butler came up to make his 3rd tackle of the ball game. In fact, the last 3 plays have been made by JB. The Butler did it once again.
The Butler brothers here all over this Red Mountain football program, and Jared Butler having a great game here tonight against Liberty so far. He is right place, right time, but it's not an accident. He's doing it because he knows where to be and he knows how to line up correctly.
Lining up to the near side is Hollis Willis, the tight end. Mass back to throw from the pocket, throws outside, ball's delivered, and making the catch is Knapp. And there to defend the play for Red Mountain was 21, Cooper Beecher. He's playing in that second cornerback spot behind Gabe Cook. So you'll see Gabriel Cook, 19, and 21 Cooper Beecher alternate here throughout tonight's ball game. So Knapp makes his 3rd reception of the ball game, and Brock Mast is finding a little bit of rhythm at quarterback here for Liberty.
Yeah, they're moving the football right now. A good push up front by the offensive line. They're rotating a little bit between the pass and the run, trying to get things on the edge because they've been very successful there so far here tonight.
Knapp to the near side. It's Brunell in the slot. Under center, it's Mast. They give it to the tailback, and on the sweep, that was 9, Zach Wallace, but blowing up the play was the catbacker, Cole Loria, up there to snuff that one out. Huge tackle, another TFL for Cole Loria.
An NFL-type defensive play right there, Kevin. You talk about learning how to throw at a ball carrier or a receiver and make a tackle. That's exactly what Cole Loria did right there.
Liberty tried to go with that misdirection on a quick snap, but Cole Loria read that play perfectly, and he snuffed it out as the first 12 minutes are in the books here from Red Mountain High School on senior night. You're watching tonight's game on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network. We'll step aside and take a quick break. Red Mountain TV.
Palabra de Vida, word of life for church is open. McDonald Orthodontics, life smiling. Goat Sports Grill, the new neighborhood hangout to be with your friends and watch games. And Sierra Signs, a full-service sign contractor licensed with the Arizona Registrar.
Kevin Derryberry, the K-Man, on the Lions Den Weekly Podcast as he talks Red Mountain football with our very own head coach, Mike Peterson. The fellas discuss the week's game action, select the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week, Chalk Talk, and a review of the lower levels of the Mountain Lion football program. The Lions Den podcast can be heard through redmountainfootball.com, via Twitter and Facebook, as well as at KDB Voice on Twitter and Facebook.
We welcome you back inside the press box. we got word that Parker & Sons is no longer our sponsor. So we are the Chuck's Fine Meats press box here tonight, and it's going to change as we roll throughout the season. But an impressive first quarter. If you look at it as two heavyweight fighters in there, both fighters were just trying to get their legs underneath them, throw a couple shots right there, but no true haymakers thrown in that one, but just scoring on points right now in this fight.
Yeah, fundamental football so far here tonight in the first quarter at Red Mountain High School. If you ask anybody that's heard about this football game, maybe has researched it for covering it here tonight, if you would have told them it'd be scoreless at the end of the first quarter, I think they probably wouldn't have believed you. But here we are, 0-0, and we'll see who's going to draw first blood.
Last year's game, a thriller in overtime. It was one for the ages. You and I were there. Oh, man, we had a blast. It was one of those nights that was heartbreaking from the Mountain Line standpoint, but it was an all-line final like it is here tonight on senior night, an all-line second week. And, you know, just when Shane Pitts missed that point after trying overtime, the door was left wide open for Red Mountain. And you have to credit Zay Johnson for Liberty. He intercepted Hiram Bourne in the end zone, and the Dreams came to a crashing halt just like that. But it was an overtime game. It was a game that really saw Liberty win that first half. They went up by a couple touchdowns, and Red Mountain had to dig deep. They had to dig down real deep. They came back to tie the ball game.
They did. You know, I've always wondered what was spoken in that locker room at halftime that night back in early December, because Red Mountain came out on fire in that second half, and they had to because their back was against the wall, Kevin. It was state championship time. There was no more tomorrow. There wasn't a next week. It was tonight or never. So Red Mountain backs against the wall, and they nearly pulled it off in overtime.
So here we go. It's a 4th and 7. Colin Thomas will forego the opportunity to kick the long field goal. It's Brock Maskla, Zacchaeus Cooper to his left. Knapp, the lone receiver. He trips to the near side. There goes Zacchaeus Cooper in motion. Empty set for Mast. Looks over the middle of the field. Steps up in the pocket. Feels the pressure. Bounces it out. Still wants to throw the football. Here comes the pressure. He throws on the run. The ball's out of bounds. Penalty marker came in. They're going to nail Red Mountain for a defensive infraction here. I think they're going to get 58 for Red Mountain. This is going to be a tough call, and I don't agree with it. Kobe Sarna, the defensive end, 6'5", 240. He is an outstanding talent, and I think they're going to get him for roughing. This is a tough call.
Oh, that's sad, because I was about to tell you, Kevin, what a great job. Number 58, who is my number's namesake, by the way, Kobe Sarna, was in pursuit with an excellent pursuit angle on that Liberty quarterback, and he was just literally trying to give everything he had in pursuit of that quarterback, and I don't agree with that call whatsoever.
You and I both, JP. That was a tough one. I want to see the replay on that one. He's got 2 steps, and he can deliver a pop. First and 10 from the 12-yard line. High snap. They run it to Cooper. Finds a lane. They stand him up at the 8-yard line, and then somebody comes in and just bowls over the pile. And that guy bowling over the pile was 47, Tyler Brown, 5'8", 166.
Well, the thing about Zacchaeus Cooper at 5'10", 190, he knows exactly how to run the football with just the right amount of patience, acceleration, and then strength when he approaches the line of scrimmage, and it's all about yards after contact. He rarely goes down on that first pop.
That's exactly right. It's about the patience that Zacchaeus Cooper runs behind that line, and you got to take some time and pick your holes. So the tailback will be Zach Wallace as Cooper gives way here. 2 wide receivers to the far side. It's Mast on a zone read. Mast splits the defense for a moment, carries it inside the 8. Maybe the 7 will be forward progress, and he's stacked up right there by Parker McClure and friends.
Well, I got to say, that was a great play fake, because I'm watching it right through the binoculars, Kevin, and he almost had me fooled. And then I look, and he's going up the middle and carrying a pile of Red Mountain defenders. What a great play that time for Liberty.
These guys are kind of exotic when you think about some of the things that they do. They run this X over quite a bit. They've got these quick hitters, a lot of misdirection. They do. They just get cute. They get exotic with their offensive play sets. Lining up to the near side, this is going to be Grant Burnell, the sophomore wide receiver. On the far side, that is Kalen Knapp. 2 wide receivers now here for the deep back and an offset eye. There goes Burnell. They turn, they give it to the fullback up the middle, and he is going to be stopped at the 5-yard line. That was the fullback, the up back there, carrying the football for Liberty. 33, Joseph Pinella that time. Pinella 5'9", 225.
Gloves now.
And he got stacked up. It looked like Josh Campos and friends stacked him up right there in the middle. That's what they call stonewall, JP.
That's a great job by the Red Mountain defensive line that time, reading their keys. That was just a simple fullback trap inside. The guard pulls across and traps the first man that appears, and Red Mountain read the keys, got separation, and stoned it.
Here comes Shane Pitts. This would be a 22-yard field goal attempt. Ball's going to be spotted in between the hash marks. Shane Pitts, the defensive back, also their place kicker. Good snap, placement down. Here comes the pressure. The kick is good. And that will break the scoring here in the second quarter. 9:25 remaining. Our score, Liberty 3, Red Mountain 0. And right now, you could tell Red Mountain's defense, they were on it. They met that challenge. Tough break on the 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. It's still debatable in my eyes, but Coach Ender's defense, they stood on their head right there, and they got to stuff, really. They got to stop. We'll accept the 3 points. That's how it goes.
Yeah, you would definitely take the 3 points over the touchdown, and you've got to be proud if you're Coach Kyle Enders on that drive right there. They took a stand, as you mentioned, didn't give up the touchdown, only got out of it with giving up 3 points, and they lived to fight another day, and now they got to go get something done on offense.
Special thank you to our Chief Production Officer, Jeremy Knutson, our Executive Producer, Eric Rich. The Technical Director is John Olden and Eli Smith, and our film crew is Moax Vanderwalker. Those are the fellas that are responsible for putting today's game on Red Mountain TV. Kevin Derrybear alongside James Poovey. We know you have options tonight. This game's also being televised on your view. Chris Harris, Dale Hellestray with the play-by-play. And, hey, it's good to have options, JP.
It is. There's always good to have options, and we appreciate you tuning in here on Red Mountain TV. This is our 5th season together, home and away for the Mountain Lions. So first home game for this 2020 season, Kev.
We're excited to be here on senior night. And it's great that the administration around a lot of schools
still lets us in the building. It's really what it is.
Yes, but they decided that we're going to have senior night on the first game because we just don't know what is out there for us. We don't know what the future will hold, especially with the pandemic and things that we're dealing with right now. Going back to that overtime game, George Ramirez, 7 catches, 107 yards, couple touchdowns. He was amazing in that game, but Hiram Bourne also played exceptional in that ball game. 276 yards, a career high for him passing in that game. It was Jared Wilson with a big night. It was awesome. But, you know, Liberty, they just made enough plays. Their quarterback really gave Red Mountain fits. That was Jonah Guevara, and he's a dual-threat quarterback, and sometimes those guys are hard to stop.
Well, the dual threat was the key with Jonah Guevara. I mean, he could throw the ball, but he could also run you over as well.
This is Lawson from his own 2 to the 15, and he's going to be decked at the 20-yard line. We'll call it the 18-yard line. Coming up to make a special teams tackle, number 34, that's Ethan Johnson. Nice little special teams wallop there to take the legs out of Lennox Lawson.
Yeah, Lennox tried to give him just a little bit of a dead leg, but the Liberty defender there on special teams not fooled at all, and a great stop there by number 34 for the Lions.
Great opportunity here for Red Mountain. They're trailing by 3 points. Gage Skidmore will line up on the far side. Kai Hanahano is in the ballgame in a 4-wide receiver package here for Swoboda. They run it to Nas Bryant, and Nas Bryant will lunge forward towards the 20-yard line. They'll give him about 2 yards on the particular play, making a tackle for Liberty. In there on the play, that was Colton Cortez, 5'8", $190, that linebacker coming up there to make that difficult play. And really, right now, is something we like to see for this Red Mountain offensive line to start getting off the ball with a little bit more aggressiveness.
Yeah, they got to get off. They got to get a push. They got to get movement up front. They got to move that defensive line back, and they've got to get them. They got to get their pad level up, Kevin, up front as well, so they can stop getting in the offensive backfield of Red Mountain.
High snap for Swoboda. They run it to Villanueva, and there's no one home. Right Absolutely there. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit once again defensively there by the Liberty Lions. 45 again, I think, on that play. That was Colton Cortez in successive plays. We have not said Jack Stam's name yet, but he's in there on the hunt, wearing some pink kicks here tonight. He wears number 8. He is built, and he is just a wrecking ball of a player out there. He roams that center field quite a bit, and he'll play like Troy Polamalu at times. He can come up there and get in the box and wreak havoc. 3rd and 10 for Swoboda. Possession play here from their own 18-yard line. On the roll out to the far side. Throws on the run. The ball's caught by Skidmore, and he's going to be well short of the first down. Nice job there of defending that play with a little zone defense that time for Liberty. They run that 3-3-5, James, and right now there's no throwing lanes, there's no running lanes for this Red Mountain offense.
Well, you talk about Jack Stam. We haven't called his name a whole lot tonight because Red Mountain simply can't get past this defensive line of the Liberty Lions. They're doing a great job up front, very fundamentally sound. Only 3 guys working against 5 up front for Red Mountain, but they are effective with it. It's all about the low pads and the low man winning up front right now for Liberty.
Horn came up to make that play, just a couple of yards on the reception for Skidmore. There's a nice punt there by Evans. And there to make the fair catch is Kayla Knapp. And there was some defensive pressure in his ear hole right there. Didn't look like Josiah was back there, but unofficially a 35-yard punt for Luke Evans. And for Evans last week, he logged a 63-yard punt against Westwood. That'll help the average out, JP.
Yeah, that was amazing. I can still remember that when it was over all the lights, the new LED lights over there at Westwood High School as well. It looked very nice. So, yeah, he's really got some big shoes to fill coming in here with this great lineage of Red Mountain kickers. And so far, he's doing a great job.
Now the Red Mountain defense back on the field here, so at some point in this game, the offense is going to have to get going. Mass on a play fake out to Knapp at the 50. And he's going to just get to the 50, and then he's going to be stonewalled right there by Skyler Edmonds and Parker McClure. 2 of the best linebackers in the state of Arizona, and I'll tell you right now, the 2 best in the 6A Fiesta region, Parker McClure and Skyler Edmonds. How about that play?
These guys know how to fill. They know how to play the run, Kevin. They can come up. They can take on double teams from the offensive linemen in the middle of the field. They can cover out in the curl the flat area. They can do it all for Red Mountain.
4-yard reception, Brock Mast to Caleb Knapp, 2nd and 6 from the 49-yard line of the Mountain Lions. Mast takes the high snap. They run it to Cooper. He cuts it left, loses his footing, and it's going to be stomped down around the 48-yard line. Parker McClure, Cole Loria among fellas there, and Jared Butler was also in on the mix.
Yeah, that was a nice group tackle. There's going to be a couple assists marked off the tally sheet on that one right there. That was a great job of team tackling there from Red Mountain.
Zacchaeus Cooper with an offer from New Mexico. He'll run off the field. And on the field right now, the tailback will be Zach Wallace.
It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Wallace, one of those youngsters that's playing up. 3rd and 5 from the 48-yard line. High snap for Max. Here comes the pressure. They dump it off on a screen, making a man miss at the 45. Moves past the sticks, and that's a 1st down. Continue to pick him up and put him down with Zach Wallace, and he just weaved just enough to dodge would-be tacklers, and you could make a case there was some sloppy tackling in there, but let's give the credit to Zach Wallace, that footwork.
All the credit to Zach Wallace on that one there. Georgia Ramirez nearly had him stopped, Kevin, by the ankles just short of the 1st down, but somehow Wallace able to power through that George Ramirez tackle and escape.
Mast throws far side ball, caught by Knapp, and he's delivered a blow by Jared Butler immediately. With the pass caught past the sticks, a 12-yard gain. Mast to Kayla Knapp, his 5th catch of this first half. And Liberty, they're on the move here with 5:32 to go in this first half. They're in Red Mountain territory at the 30-yard line. Now they want to play a little no huddle here. 3 wide receivers now, 2 bunch to the far side. There goes Knapp in motion. They fake it to him, they run it underneath, and getting tripped up was Zach Wallace. Making that tackle was Cole Loria, and also it looked like 54 might have thrown a hand in there just to trip him up too, was Vincent Glover just throwing his body around down there in the trenches, James.
Yeah, work is being done down low tonight for the Red Mountain Lions, and Cole Loria, again, another great tackle there, throwing himself at the ball carrier and making a very secure stop.
Liberty now with the football on the 30-yard line. Mast again, a zone read. He's going to run it in space, and he'll slide down as George Ramirez came up and does a little leapfrog right over him. But that's a heady play by George Ramirez. A lot of linebackers, a lot of safeties would come in there and just blow up that guy. But you're playing smart, cerebral football. That's George Ramirez.
That's all of Georgie. He is all about the cerebralness out on the football field, always making smart decisions for the Mountain Lions. And he's always lining up right, always in the right spot to make the right play at the right time.
You look at a little comparison on both sides of the ball for Liberty. It's Jack Stam. He's a quarterback of that defense, and George Ramirez, the exact same thing on the other side of the football. 3rd and 5 from the 25. High snap for Mass. The turn to give it to Cooper. And Cooper's going to be grabbed down by Jared Butler. His 5th tackle of this ball game. Jared Butler coming up, having himself a first half. And that's the greatest thing about that. You talk about somebody on your heels in camp with competition, and that's Eli Palmer, but what that competition does, James, is bring out the best, and we said it, the entire team, but in particular, in a position battle, those guys are playing really well.
Well, I'm just so impressed with the effort tonight from all these Red Mountain defenders, and they're making each other better, as you mentioned, Kevin, competing for the jobs. Eli Palmer secretly making Jared Butler better, and now Jared Butler is going to, in turn, make Eli Palmer better, because now Palmer's got to work even harder if he wants that job from Jared Butler, because he's having a heck of a game here tonight.
He really is. You know, the Red Mountain football program is 77-40 during the last decade. It's just remarkable. During this time, Mount Lions achieved double-digit winning seasons only twice, and they did it in 2 of the last 3 years. Red Mountain did not register double figures in victories for 9 consecutive years. Now, you look at the East Valley region and say, okay, there's 5 wins each year. But hey, the reality is you play the games on the schedule. That's the reason they're in. That's where they were put and placed by the AIA. So you just have to, and you can't tell Saguaro all this time that, hey, the jewelry's not real gold. It's real gold. They won in 4A, and they really made a big statement in the first year of the Open Division. So we got to give the competition a little respect.
Yeah, and everybody has to do the same thing. You mentioned you play the games that they schedule for you. You show up, you prepare, you practice, you study your opponent, you watch the film, and you come to play. And that's why they play the games, because you never know if you're having that night, you're going to get it done. If you're not, you might get upset.
Coach Colin Thomas will go for it for the 3rd time tonight on 4th down. There goes Zacchaeus Cooper, empty set for Brock Mast. Here comes the pressure. Mast with all kinds of time. He wants to scramble. He slides out of pressure. He throws far sideline. Ball's caught. And that is going to be a reception made there by Jordan Guevara. And that's a first down pass play as they are able to move the sticks on 4th down. That's the 3rd 4th down conversion for Colin Thomas and this Liberty Lions football team.
What's so impressive about this Liberty offense, Kevin, is that they always have the check down. They've always got a safety valve available in case something breaks down.
Big hole for Cooper this time, and Cooper now starting to run downhill that time. He got to the safety, and that was George Ramirez laying the lick on Zacchaeus Cooper. When you see 2 guys like that in that collision, and then you see Cooper's body just gyrate a little bit, you know there was quite a pop delivered right there.
Yeah, that's when you're wanting RMTV to invest in those parabolic microphones down there on the field.
Gain of 8, penalty marker thrown on the play, and there's Parker McClure grabbing Zacchaeus Cooper right at the line of scrimmage and to throw him down to the turf. Big time collision again there. Let's see what the penalty marker is all about. That's one thing that has plagued both teams here early in this game, and that are penalties. So the infractions, and James, we go back to this. It's a big game, 2 big-time schools, 6A programs. They played each other for the title a year ago in the 6A conference, and you just wonder as an official what you're thinking your responsibility is. Man, maybe there's just a lot of play down there that needs to be cleaned up.
It could be that, Kevin. It could be that they're a little bit flag happy. You know, it's never easy being an official. You know, I've thought about it from time to time. You know, you think about, well, if I'm not throwing my flag, am I doing my job? It's got to be a fine line that you walk down there every play.
Cooper, the back flank to his right. They throw to the wide side, and they get Brunel again. His 4th catch of this first half. Brock Mast is really showing you the ability to get rid of the football in a hurry. And when you got a ferocious pass rush like Red Mountain does, that's the trigger mechanism. You got to get rid of it now.
Well, I mentioned a moment ago this Liberty offense, they've got the checkdowns available. Mast is very in control in the pocket, has great poise back there for Liberty, and he's able to pick through the traffic, go through his checkdowns, and Liberty always has someone available. If the pass rush is too heavy, if he's flushed out of the pocket, he's got a check down.
How about your Mike Backer coming out there to cover that wide receiver on that play with a tackle by McClure? 3rd and 11. Snap to Mast. Rolls to the far side, throws on the run. The ball is just behind the receiver as he got blown up there by George Ramirez. And now they're going to throw a penalty flag on George Ramirez. Another roughness call. And that, I'll tell you right now, is a horrible call. Let these kids play tackle football, for crying out loud.
That is absolutely unfathomable, Kevin, that they threw a penalty flag on that. First of all, it was almost an uncatchable ball. It wasn't a late hit. There was maybe a full step, not even 2 steps, not even close to 2 steps.
Oh, the ball bounced off his chest. That's a live ball, and George Ramirez came up there and put a stick on the receiver. Jordan Guevara was the target. Let's see what the penalty's all about. This is an absolute dog-do of a call, I'll tell you right now. Just not right. It's tackle football. They're not playing soccer, for crying out loud. Good grief. 3-0. Liberty leads it. 2:06 to go till halftime. And by virtue of another unsportsmanlike penalty assessed to George Ramirez this time, we just got through praising George Ramirez on the headiness that he plays with.
Well, I'm going to praise him again because that was a great defensive play.
Nice stick. The delay to the running back this time. This is 5 for the first carry. Marquise Corley, a fresh horse, 5'8", 180, as he just has a big hole up the middle, kind of lunges forward, and he stopped at the 1-yard line.
He darn near got that thing in the end zone.
No huddle again for Mast. They run it. No, this is going to be Mast. And Mast, check that. That's Kalen Knapp. So Kalen Knapp running a little wildcat. He takes the snap, the direct snap, runs left, and just scampers to the end zone, housing one for a touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown for Kalen Knapp. And it's now 9-0, extra point pending. And the crowd that is here, the good crowd here tonight, Liberty has some fans that made the trek some 57 miles away out in northwest Phoenix. But only family members and close friends here. So I think each player gets 4 accompaniments, if you will. So it's Shane Pitts on. It should be 9-0. And we'll wait the extra point. Here comes Shane Pitts. Good snap, placement down. George Ramirez had a chance at it, and that kick is just inside the right upright. So with $1:53 remaining until halftime, it's 10-0 Liberty. And right now these fans are a little bit beside themselves. Again, you get 1, 2. I think you get continuation. I know there's no continuation in high school football.
Yes.
This is not the National Football League. We get that. However, Dale Hellestrade played in the NFL, and he's just to our right. We should ask him about that because 1, maybe 2 in the pop. I think Georgie was clean on that play.
Yeah, that reminded me of a late 80s, early 90s, really good NFL hit, just a drive-through, kind of like you're hitting a wet paper bag. And unfortunately for Red Mountain, they got the penalty flag, and then Liberty took immediate advantage of it because Red Mountain's defense was caught up in it, the crowd was caught up in it, and the Liberty offense said, hey, we're going to run a quick play, wildcat, we're going to catch them off guard, and that's exactly what they did.
Absolutely. I know you're a Steve Atwater guy, and he's a guy that played the free, and he could put a lick on anybody. But for my money, I'm signing up for Ronnie Lott out of USC. Ronnie Lott played for the 49ers, a Hall of Famer. Just outstanding talent right there. You talk about putting it to somebody. Ronnie Lott could do just that.
Yes, indeed. He played with Dennis Smith, also another great Bronco.
Speaking of USC, Sosaya Mapa Kaitolo. He is a transfer from Red Mountain. He played at Red Mountain early in his career. He moved to California. He's a Division I commit to USC. He's going to play for the Trojans. We're waiting official word from the AIA, but what a tremendous young man, a good conversation with him, but he could help this football team out in a big, big way if he's deemed eligible at any point this season.
It was a great visit with him on the sideline just before the ball game tonight. Great to catch up with him, and he is a big guy who can really get it done. I like to see him with some pads on, Kevin. Hopefully that'll be coming here shortly.
Shout out to former offensive coordinator Chris Andriatis, the real Andro, on Twitter. He sent me a text that says, get those refs. Well, that makes me wonder if I'm just homering up, but I try to call it an even keel. I just think that the Mountain Lions got jobbed on that particular sequence, JP.
Obviously, the referees have a job to keep safety of these players at the top of the priority list, Kevin, but you also have to let them play football, and you also can't penalize a kid for a great defensive play.
For effort.
Yes.
For effort. Incredible effort. All right. The Mountain Lions need to get something going here.
They do.
They had a chance to score a touchdown. They had the ball on the inside the 5-yard line and weren't able to punch it in. Swoboda to the air, rolls to the near side. He throws on the run. Beautiful pass. It's caught by Bourne right on the boundary. He'll make the catch and just step out of bounds. Clock will stop. They'll pick up 7 yards on the pass play. Swoboda can spin the football. That was a gorgeous pass play.
It was beautiful. He's got great delivery of the football. You can tell he's been working all offseason, and I would like to see him deliver one of those to AC Anthony Carrington.
Ethan Maxey will draw the defensive assignment on board. This time they give it to George Ramirez. George Ramirez is going to find some running room, running off that left tackle. Much like how he scored that touchdown against Westwood a week ago, he gets 5 yards, and they'll move the sticks. Clock rolling at 1:27 to go in this first half. It's 10-0 Liberty in an all-Lions 6A contest here in week 2 from Red Mountain High School. Swoboda the snap with time, throws over the middle, ball's caught. Lennox Lawson makes a man miss, and he'll lunge towards the first down yardage. They'll spot him right at the sticks. So they should give him a first down, and they move him. So a 1st and 10 on back-to-back pass plays. We'll make it 2 out of the last 3. Swoboda to Lennox Lawson for the catch and a first down. Nice job there by Lennox with the extra effort. Swoboda again with time, throws outside, ball's caught. And defending that play was the cornerback, Ethan Maxey. Good coverage that time. And a lot of that's Anthony Carrington making his first catch of this ball game. We talked to AC, and he said, hey, last week it's behind me. We're ready to make big plays here tonight. That's the great attitude to have for Anthony Carrington.
That's exactly right. We've been waiting for him to really emerge for this football team, and he started to do that here, and we look for more of that here tonight from Anthony Carrington. 6'1", 175-pound senior, and he's got the speed, Kevin. He's got the wheels, and now he's got the quarterback to deliver the football to him.
And he just has to restore that confidence. Of course, his brother Arthur, he's a wide receiver, and I asked Anthony if he's been on the field with Arthur at the same time here at Red Mountain. They have not done that just yet, but you know, it's a family affair, and of course we have Drake Bourne here, and we have the Bray brothers, but you know, you saw Hiram Bourne throw a touchdown pass to his brother Drake last year in a game, and that's just an incredible moment for the people aspect of what this is all about.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about up here is the people. Not only the people on this football field, but the people of this Red Mountain community, and it's great to see people in the stands. You mentioned 4 attendees, I believe, per player tonight, and a great crowd on hand.
Swoboda from the pistol, throws outside, the ball's off the hands of Daniel Butler. Might have been a little bit too tall, but you know, from a Division I point of view, Evan Swoboda has a rocket for an arm, and I just love the way the ball, the spin comes off his hands. It's almost effortless at times.
It's that really good pendulum effect he has, Kevin. You know, you can tell the mechanics are there. He's got the drive back. He's really smooth with it. He's got the great plant foot and power off that back foot and delivering that football on time.
Coach Enders just had a meeting with his defense. That meeting has just broken up, and now, you know, those guys are ready to take the field. This is a quarterback draw by Swoboda as he makes one man miss, continues to drive those legs forward on the far hash marks. He's got the first down, so that's the first carry of the night for Evan Swoboda. He had 5 totes last week for 49 yards in an effort where he passed for 141 yards and a touchdown, and he moves the sticks right here. 1st and 10 for the Lions' 40-yard line. Swoboda to the air again. He throws outside, same route. This time it's going to be Carrington, and Carrington with that extra effort tries to break loose on that tackle by Shane Pitts, and it is a stoppage of play here. A timeout taken on the field. I think Coach Peterson took this timeout. 30 seconds to go in the first half. James, if you're Josh Bards and you're Mike Peterson, you want to get points on this drive.
You definitely do, and it's unfortunately, Kevin, I understand that they have to watch the time on the clock, but they had a great pace going there at the beginning of this drive. They were really moving the football down the field, and more importantly, they had Liberty's defense kind of on their heels with that increased tempo. So you'd like to see them get back to that here, but unfortunately, with the end of the first half coming, they got to use that clock and that clock management.
Hard to imagine that Liberty has added 40 new bodies to this football program through graduation, defection, people moving one way or the other. 40 new bodies into your championship football program. That'll give you a little jolt of life right there, but they're reloading.
They are.
Swoboda to the air again. Quick trigger, throws outside, the ball's incomplete. You talk about a hot potato coming in there. A lot of pizzazz on that pass. Drake Bourne couldn't haul it in. And I don't know if you've taken in any Major League Baseball playoffs. Dodgers sweep the Padres here the last couple games. But I've never seen so many guys in the big leagues throwing 100. Like, if you don't throw 100 anymore, we can't even use you.
It's what 95 used to be. Now it's 100.
Everything's 100 in the bigs. And
wow.
the Dustin May and the Bazooka, Bruce Dart Gratterall, The Padres have a bunch of great arms. It's amazing. Swoboda with another huge arm. He throws again back to Carrington. Third time on this drive they go to that play. It's short of the first down this time. Clock rolls, and it's stopped at 20 seconds. So let's see where they spot the football. It'll be third. Let's check that. That was just enough to move the chains. So the ball's going to be spotted on the Liberty 24-yard line. And the clock continues to roll. I don't know if they've got this. Someone needs to adjust the clock. Swoboda, near side, it's Boren, makes the catch at his knees, and he'll run out of bounds. Clock will stop now. That's a 9-yard pass play. Swoboda to Drake Boren. And it looks like that the Mountain Lions are working the edges here to perfection here, trying to master this clock here with 7.9 ticks remaining.
One, maybe two plays left here, you think, Kevin? 7.9 remaining on the clock. Ball spot at the near hash.
I sure hope we're keeping this clock on the field because our Longview scoreboard operators challenged there for just a second. Now we get a stop and play here. This is a timeout. Both teams had lined up. The Mountain Lions wearing their red and black here tonight, and Liberty wearing their road whites with their black pants and those black helmets. Last year was just one at Sun Devil Stadium was just incredible. And one of the takeaways, the crowd noise, when either school scored a touchdown, especially late in that ballgame, the roars on both sidelines were just, those lion roars that you hear where you can hear them 4 or 5 miles away. That's what it seemed like. It was just so much passion in the barn that night.
It was some kind of night, Kevin, an unforgettable evening, especially after calling so many football games here with you for this Red Mountain football program. And I tell you, if we had only known what was coming in about 10 or 12 weeks in our lives, I would have tried to soak that night in even more than I did already.
No doubt about it. Here comes Swoboda. 3 wide receivers to the left. They dump it off to Georgia Ramirez, and that ball again is just too much mustard on it. That is almost just not a catchable pass. I mean, Georgia's got great hands, but you're talking, again, he threw a fastball about 89 with a little movement on it. That's a hard ball to haul in.
Yeah, it's great to see Swoboda with the great mechanics and the great velocity when needed, but he's also got to be able to find that fine balance of that touch on that one there. Unfortunate for Red Mountain because George Ramirez running wide open.
Gamble play here from Mike Peterson. 5.6 seconds to go. Swoboda wants to throw. He's going to scramble. He throws towards the end zone. The ball's going to be spotted around the 2-yard line. There is no time on the clock. Let's see if Red Mountain got a timeout here. I don't think they did. Let's see what happens here. So the ball is going to be spotted short of the goal line, and the Liberty Lions are heading to the locker room. So that should conclude the first half. And for the Mountain Lions that time, let's call it what it is. That was a little botched clock management right there. I thought with 5.6 seconds to go, it was a snap and a throw. You got to get rid of it if you want to get 3 points.
Yeah, that one down right to the 2-yard line. Fortunate for Red Mountain, Evan Swoboda with a nice bit of touch on that ball there, but we needed one more play out of that time on the clock, and we didn't get it.
Daniel Butler makes the catch, but the Liberty defense very stout here in the first half. This Red Mountain offense is going to have to go to work here at halftime.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out what to do, get things going offensively. You kind of wait. It seems like we're waiting for the star of the show to finally arrive here, Kevin. Like the limo's just kind of late to the party tonight. The guy's going to show up. He's going to sneak in the back fence, and we're going to wait for that star of the second half for Red Mountain.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Chris Andrianos would typically stop by and talk with us, but Andro has retired, and that is now JB's position. But I got to be honest with you, JB didn't want to have any part of this conversation. Tunnel vision right now. He's got work to do. He's going to go get things figured out here at the break. But let's take some time out here and pay a couple bills, James. You're watching Red Mountain football on Red Mountain TV on the YouTube Broadcast Network. This evening, it's 10-0 Liberty in a rematch of the 2019 6A state championship game. Here we are in week 2 from Red Mountain High School. Going to the break. Our score, Liberty 10, Red Mountain 0. More after this.
The premier printer of Red Mountain football. For short-run digital print, offset lithography, large format including wall murals, vehicle wraps, packaging, banners, and more, we have a printed solution for you. KDB Broadcasting and Media Works, your hybrid source for print, digital, and voice. Call the voice of the Mountain Lions, Kevin Derryberry, at 602-513-3636 or log on to kdbmediaworks.com.
McDowell Orthodontics. Live life smiling.
Join Kevin Derryberry, the K-Man, on the Lions Den Weekly Podcast as he talks Red Mountain football with our very own head coach, Mike Peterson. The fellas discuss the week's game action, select the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week, Chalk Talk, and a review of the lower levels of the Mountain Lion football program. The Lions Den podcast can be heard through redmountainfootball.com, via Twitter and Facebook, as well as at KDB Voice on Twitter and Facebook.
That's located at Power and McDowell. Order the Red Mountain appetizer, and a portion of the cost will come back to Red Mountain football. Go Lions.
A shout out to Red Mountain football fans. This is head coach Mike Peterson. From me to you, I invite you to listen to the Lions Den podcast each week, hosted by Red Mountain football play-by-play voice Kevin Derryberry, the K-Man. We will talk Mountain Lion football in depth after each game. Highlights, player interviews, chalk talk, and the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week. Listen to the Lions Den, and hey, don't be that guy.
For their help in creating the senior fatheads for our senior night. Congratulations to each senior Mountain Lion. We are proud of you and look forward to your next chapter in life.
You are watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network.
Football is having a fundraiser at Chipotle on Power and McDowell on Tuesday, October 13th, between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. Please mention our football program when you're ordering. Ladies and gentlemen, head on down to the main entrance during halftime where our Red Mountain Spirit Line will be selling Red Mountain masks. That's over by the front entrance. Go purchase your Red Mountain mask sold by our Spirit Line.
We don't even have a game this weekend, huh? I thought we did. This is the bye. We should do the bye first. Who wants to leave? Same deal. Like those are probably the three best teams in the state. There's probably a couple other teams. I feel like Swing Kings probably got a team. Joe's something. Easy. Oh, that's a blessing. I didn't sure Joe's something professional. And they beat Perry their first game. Was that where? Down here? He's talking to the man up there. Casey's no, stage 4 brain cancer. Oh, he had a stroke. And that's when he found it. They didn't know. Got the lump. They removed like 60% of it, and then they just found it. Hi, Dad. It's terrible. Was he having something good? Just like now looking back, the mom said that like she would see like some stuff in it, and the doctor's like, listen, this is such a slow growing thing. He's like, you just would not, it's just so subtle until something like this happens. With brain cancer, like, it's terrible. So she's like, she's with him, right? to be a way to figure out this. Do this because it causes not like today. That's going to be something.
Cool. Running back in the Broncos for a bunch of years, and he played with me in Baltimore. He was the guy that crazy story. He like served like a couple of tours overseas, one in Somalia, was like Black Hawk down there in Africa, all this stuff. He was like rookie of the year. He had multiple 1,000-yard seasons. Just like, dude that got in the NFL. So crazy story. He never played football before. Never played high school. Didn't play anything in high school. Was in a band in high school. Goes in the military. Goes and serves tours. Comes back. Plays like all the guys in the military. Comes back, says like a Juco, and gets a scholarship to the University of Utah. Comes like goes off there, then gets drafted, rookie of the year. The rest is history, you know. Anyways, and this year, he's got two boys that play hoops. He was telling me the story. He's like, that's what he went to Canada. Early in the season, it's hard to even play for this guy. And Mike's a guy that grew up in the roughest area. His dad was like tough as nails, like always suck it up. Suck it up. His story was he went to play football. And the coach he had never played football, so coach puts him on the line. And he's like, I want to play running back. I want to play receiver. Like, no, you're playing the line. Dad's like, that's BS. You need to go play. He's like, oh, I'm not playing. He's like, well, you're doing something. Okay, I'll do like the drum team. So he's like, him the drummer in the band, you know? Anyways, so he's telling Dad, like, let's go to church. Goes back the next week.
Do you recognize this at all?
All of our teammates, we all don't like it.
That looks like our bird dog.
Close.
Is this the pterodactyl?
No.
Oh, this is a Wi-Fi system.
No, it's Spark.
Oh.
They just don't have the antennas. There's an Ethernet jack. That's why they have plugged in there.
And there's communication?
I don't think they have communication.
Yeah.
Have any issues with these other people? So like that was the first thing he said. He's like, no nonsense.
Someone up there with a day-to-day coach running.
So right away, like, coach got him. He's like, oh, you're one of those parents, huh? You know? I'm like, no, what parents? I came to talk to you, man. I want to see what you're all
Return to the field for the second half, the visiting Liberty Lions. And back onto the field are Red Mountain Lions. Some of the scores around the East Valley. Centennial leads Mountain Point 23-0. Queen Creek leads Williamsfield 24-0. Highland over Desert Vista at halftime 35-0. Chandler leads Pinnacle 36-0.
Are you okay if I ask you a couple questions? Where are you guys running your production at?
We are running, okay, so we have a studio back in the main building. And in our audio booth, we're sending our footage back to the TriCasters. Right now we're having a new top 10 guy that's doing a bad job.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we're running basically taking our screen and putting it.
So you guys are all over your network?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Let us score updated is Higley 21, Castile 13.
Yeah. Too, and I know the Spark units are running.
Our ongoing joke is wireless Sparks.
Red Mountain Junior region rivals are Queen Creek, Williamsfield, Castile, and Desert Ridge this year.
Use 1 and 10. The access point you use can only have these devices on it. I actually, so our schools, so I'm a teacher by the way, so hopefully, our district bought these wireless systems, like
So
they're
you guys
meant to be wireless.
Access ports as well?
Huh?
Access ports? Like the stuff that goes on the ceiling?
No, so what they are, so they bought some wireless kits that are meant for actually a wireless video. $3,000 a piece, but because we have a cell tower on our campus, they don't work at all. This thing I can use with an access point that only has this guy connected. That works far better than the $3,000 system.
Well, I think our issue is we can't see. I think we have an issue that you only have to have the one thing on the. That's our issue, so we can't really run around with Sparks.
Gotcha. If your teacher or director, if he ever comes down here, I'd like to go see you guys at the studio. You okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too great. We do the most.
I watched your guys' broadcast. It's really good.
Like, our podcast tonight's kind of sucking because other than that, it's
Who's running it?
Basically the football.
So you guys are taking their
feed. So I believe we're running. I believe one of our guys is running top here instead over there. I was having you.
I might see after the game so I can come over to you guys' studio. I'll let you do.
Okay, you know the guy with like the white shoes and like the jeans and the red out polo that talks to you? Guy with the short haircut, glasses. Like not glasses, but sunglasses.
I'll look down there and I'll see. Isn't he wearing like a gray polo?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go see him.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good luck.
Thanks.
We welcome you back inside the Chuck's Fine Meats press box here at Red Mountain High School. And I got to tell you, our dudes, Skyler Edmonds, Parker McClure, George Ramirez, and one other guy, they all work together at Chuck Fine Meats here in Mesa, and they're learning the butchery business. They're making money. and they're working inside the community and their teammates, and it's a pretty cool thing.
And, it's cool that they're working in the family business. That's not too often that gets to happen. And they'll probably end up carrying on that legacy with Chuck Fine's Meat. I have to say, Kevin, I'd be remiss to say a little disappointed that the window unit dream from Parker and Sons here in the press box of Red Mountain High School is officially dead.
That is, those dreams have been dashed, to say the least. We are underway here in the second half as Luke Evans sends one to the goal line. Making a special teams tackle is 45, Eli Palmer, and we had a guy that wore number 45 last year that we fell in love with on special teams, right? Or was it 40?
40.
Blake?
Yes, Blake. Trying to trip me up there, man.
So it's Zacchaeus Cooper will start at tailback. That wasn't the guy. Was it Blake?
No.
Doesn't sound right. First possession of the second half belongs to Liberty. Nice kick there by Luke Evans. On that return was Jordan Guevara. And now they go to Zacchaeus Cooper. He's tried to string him out. He does. Breaks a tackle at the 20. Turns it upfield on the near hash marks. Lower the shoulder and get tackled around the 25-yard line. Kind of a slow developing play right there, James. But Zacchaeus Cooper, for as big as he is, he has some agility to him.
He can move, can he? Very nimble. He was able to try to cut that one back to the inside, and he can just put those feet in the ground and go.
First half challenges for Red Mountain in the penalty department has really cost this team here. They trail 10-0. They go right up the middle again to Zacchaeus Cooper. He runs right into Parker McClure, and standing next to McClure was Cole Loria. And those two guys making huge plays right there. So Liberty, it should be noted, they were 3 for 3 on fourth down in that first half, James.
Yeah, that's impressive, 3 of 3. They were really doing great, especially in the first half for their offensive line up front for Liberty, getting a push on this Red Mountain defensive line. So now Coach Kyle Enders and this defense is going to have to tighten the screws here on Liberty.
So it'll be Brock Mast with two backs to his right, one to his left, and slipping a tackle in the backfield was Brock Mast. Cole Loria had his hands on the shoe tops of Brock Mast, and Brock Mast is able to slip that tackle in the backfield and get just enough yardage to move the chains.
Yeah, I tell you, I want to keep an eye on this battle here between Parker McClure and number 4, Zacchaeus Cooper for Liberty. These guys are really going to go toe-to-toe here in the second half, and McClure still hasn't put his pads in from the last time they went at it.
McClure, 8 tackles, a sack, and a TFL last week in that win over Westwood. Here comes Liberty's Brock Mast. He wants to throw the football, and he's going to scramble and run out of bounds. Boy, there was a nice block played in the middle of the field by the sophomore tailback, Zach Wallace, as he put a chest into Parker McClure. But let's see what this penalty is all about. This officiating team continues to stay consistent. You called it flag happy in the first half. I thought about it with our pause in the action, and I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, apparently no penalty on that last one, so
Check
surprised.
That. Oh, ball's loose. The ball was put on the turf, an exchange between Mast and I believe Zacchaeus Cooper. They couldn't get the exchange to be clean. That ball's on the turf for just a moment. So that would have been a momentum-changing type turnover had Red Mountain been able to recover that one, because old Uncle Mo right now is on the side of Liberty, and Mike Peterson's team needs to change their luck here immediately. Mast again at quarterback.
Defense for Red Mountain going to really dig in here on 3rd and long for Liberty.
Long count for Mast, 3 wide receivers to the wide side. He looks right. He throws over the middle of the field. There's a wide open receiver. The ball's caught in stride at the 40, 30, 20, and thrown down around the 15-yard line. Making the catch, number 12, Grant Brunell, his 6th catch of this ball game, and that time he got loose in the secondary.
What a beautiful pass as well. Not only a great reception, but that ball well-timed, over the shoulder, right in stride, and great protection up front from the offensive line as well for Liberty.
Brock Mast to this sophomore wide receiver, Grant Brunell, 55 yards. Here comes Zacchaeus Cooper, makes a cutback, and then actually that was a jump cut to the right, then caught it left and ran right into Skyler Edmonds, and Edmonds just stands him up.
Great job there by Skyler Edmonds, getting after that football, trying to grip it and rip it out of the arms of Zacchaeus Cooper. And they're going to go after it. A great battle in the middle tonight. Power, smash mouth football. I love it, Kevin.
Edmonds with 9 tackles last week, couple of sacks, 3 behind the line of scrimmage, and that pick, and picked up right where he left off. Has an interception tonight. That big tackle right there. 3-yard gain for Cooper. This is Mass on the rollout. They throw the ball on the far side, and the quarterback got roughed up again, and now there's another penalty on the far sideline. This is going to be another unsportsmanlike penalty assessed to Red Mountain.
Kevin.
It's just they're not allowing them to complete the plays. They play whistle to whistle, boundary to boundary, sideline to sideline. Good grief.
The kid was going out of bounds and simply either tripped over a cable or the chains or something on the side, and up goes the flag. Wow.
Inexcusable officiating here tonight. We're looking at it through the Cardinal lens, but you just want to let these kids play. You know, Mass, last year he played sparingly. It was Jonah Guevara who was their starter, but Mass in limited action threw for 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. But he's also shown you here tonight, he's got a quick trigger, and when he gets a little time, he can do some damage.
He can, and he's got the great protection from his offensive line, and he's successful as well when he gets out on the edge, Kevin. He's got a cannon for an arm, and he's able to fire a dart in there to his waiting receivers. And that last one there, long bomb down the field, that was a difference maker here. And if Liberty's able to punch it in, it's going to be a big hill to climb for Red Mountain.
Have you been sidelined with an injury? Make sure you consult an athletic trainer who specializes in the prevention, assessment, treatment, and rehabilitation of injuries and illnesses. Athletic Trainers, compassionate care for all. A reminder from the National Athletic Trainers Association, NATA.org, during National Athletic Training Month. And a shout out to all those athletic trainers, great staff that we have here at Red Mountain High School. Coach Peterson has picked the very best, and they respond and get these kids on the playing field.
Unsung heroes, Kevin. A lot goes into a football program, and those athletic training crew, very important part. They're often here before the team arrives for practice. They stay after the team has finished practice or finished games, getting everything ready to go. Great job.
Shelly Herseth in her first year now, and of course Ben Brando in his 5th year. They are the ones that get it done. Nutrition experts.
Coach Brando always on top of things there for that Red Mountain football team.
3rd and 1 from the mountain line, 7-yard line. Mass high snap. They run it to McCorley, and Corley is going to be stopped short. Skyler Edmonds in on the action once again. Chin strap to chin strap. He stood up Marquise Corley.
I tell you what, Skyler Edmonds is just a tough customer in there, Kevin. He knows how to get in. He's not afraid to stick his nose into play and make it happen. I love it.
Of course, Edmonds also stars on the baseball team. He's a corner outfielder. He's got a good bat, he's got a great glove, and he has got a hose from right field. So it's 4th down. This is the 4th time tonight that head coach Colin Thomas, in his first year running the show for Liberty, will go for it. 4th and 1 from the 7-yard line. High snap. This is going to be Mast. Check it again. It's a Wildcat, and they go to Kayla Knapp, and he's going to score a touchdown. His 2nd touchdown of this football game. Kayla Knapp scores it again. It's off the Wildcat, and more exotic type play calling and exotic type alignment. The formation there, Red Mountain was stooped just a little bit on that sequence.
Yeah, great physical presence up front for Liberty, and they throw those different exotic formations, as you mentioned, Adam, and that Red Mountain defense just not able to adjust quite quick enough and make the close on that play. An excellent scoring job there for Liberty.
Some form of a swinging gate or some sort of action here where the linemen meet in the middle here, set up shop for Shane Pitts.
You can see traces of ex-coach Mark Smith still all over this football program.
Good snap, good hold, and the point after try by Shane Pitts is good. 7:43 to go in this 3rd quarter. Our score here at home from Red Mountain High School, Liberty 17, Red Mountain 0. For a team that scores 44 points a ball game a year ago, they had 43 in week 1. It's a tough call right now. They're going to have to start to open things up with the play calling here coming up shortly.
Yeah, their hand is going to be forced now, Kevin, because being down 17-0, that's a 3-score deficit. any way you slice it. And Red Mountain now, they're going to have to change up things. They're going to have to start going deep with the football. On the other side now, Liberty knows that, and they're going to be able to change their defensive scheme to adjust accordingly. And right now, Red Mountain with a big hill to climb, they're going to have to open up things, as you mentioned, and start taking some shots down the field. And these receivers have got to catch the football, and Evan Swoboda has got to put just a little bit more touch on it.
Well, we talk about some players that we thought at the beginning of the game, some names that we might see here. Evan Swoboda, George Ramirez, Nas Bryant, Josiah Villanueva. Josiah Villanueva, for all the speed and skill set this young man has, they need to find a way to get him involved. And then on the other side of the coin, for Liberty, we thought it would be Zacchaeus Cooper. Kind of a slow start for him. Last week we could understand the 29 yards against Chandler. They're a stalwart defensive unit. But you'd think he maybe have a little bit more success tonight. But their play calling, very balanced, very dynamic. They're using the Wildcat tonight, and they're using a former quarterback, and that's Kalen Knapp. He was a quarterback at Sunrise Mountain. He's a transfer to Liberty, and he's on display tonight running that Wildcat. 2 touchdowns for him and 2 attempts in that Wildcat position.
Well, Knapp, you mentioned the former quarterback experience. That really pays dividends here tonight for Liberty because he's a threat on the run. He can take the direct snap. They can line him up outside. They can put him in the slot. He can go catch the football. Versatile weapon for Liberty.
He's really doing his best Jonah Guevara type impersonation. Yes. Remind me of Guevara, what he did in the state championship. He was just really good. 10 of 16, 175, a couple of touchdowns, and of course that touchdown late in overtime. This is Josiah from his own 5. Angles across to the 15 to the 20, bounce outside, and they're going to lasso him up after a 23-yard return, although spotted on the 23-yard line. We talk about space and spacing and the ability to get players with speed into space. Right now, Red Mountain needs to find some real estate, get their guys free, and get that speed going and get these guys running downhill quickly.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Liberty now can kind of sort of play a little bit of a prevent defense and just basically not let anything get behind them. And that defensive line for Liberty doing a great job playing the run against Red Mountain tonight as well.
Maybe you can make the case they're playing with house money. Right now they lead at 17-0 off a loss to the number 17 in the country and the Chandler Wolves. We find out that Chandler is near the half. It's 43-0 Chandler over Pinnacle. And for Dana Zupke's football team, Pinnacle on paper is very good. They're explosive offensively. Devin Dampier, their quarterback, they're getting goose egg here tonight. Chandler is just special.
They are very special. I think we've said this over the last couple of years. It's Chandler and everyone else.
Yeah, there's different tiers. There's tier 1 and then there's tier 2, and there's a drop-off. Swoboda back to throw. Has time, throws left, and the ball is dropped by Lennox Lawson. Tough throw there that time by Lawson. Good route, a little bit of a drag route right near the line to gain. Had he caught the football, that would have been a first down. And James, you had mentioned how important it is for these wide receivers to catch the football. That looked like a pretty good ball there that Lennox probably should have had, but again, a lot of mustard on those throws right now.
Yeah, just a little bit too much strength on there, and the receiver not able to soften their hands just enough to let it come in, turn, and make a football move up the field. And before they can do that, it just bounces off.
You wonder if the wheels are turning with Josh Barnes. Does Jalen Daniels have a shot at playing in this football game for any reason? Swoboda empty set, back to throw under a blitz. He throws too high for what looked like it might have been Parker McClure. We'll have to see who that is out there on the offensive side of the ball. That is Parker McClure playing offense right there. So you got the franchise. Oh, I beg your pardon. Missed that 0 there. That was actually Gage Skidmore. And I like the idea of having Gage Skidmore out there. He's a good pass catcher, and he can make some plays. But unfortunately, that'll be a 3 and out for Red Mountain.
Extremely unfortunate, Kevin. You mentioned Jaden Daniels. I don't want to say that it can't go much worse on offense, but it can't. You can't go much worse than not scoring on offense.
Evans, a high punt up into that night sky, just above the lights here at the 46-yard line. And nice fair catch there by Liberty. They're in possession once again. This will be the 3rd time tonight they have started their drive inside Red Mountain territory. So if you look at this game on paper right now, not a lot of flashy numbers, just a lot of efficiency from this Liberty offense. They're not gouging them with big plays down the field, but they're handy enough to make things difficult for Coach Ender's defense. And you know that his mind is just going a mile a minute right now. How do we stop these guys?
Yeah, and now the pressure once again on the Red Mountain defense.
It's Cooper, a little stutter step, and then he'll run off tackle, running right, running behind Lucas Holton and friends. He'll pick up about 3 yards. Cole Loria there to make the stop. Gain of 3 for Zacchaeus Cooper. It's 17-0 Liberty in this all-Lion 6A conference football game here. Act 2, a rematch of last year's title game. Inside 7 minutes to go now. Clock will become a factor here for the Mountain Lions. Play fake. They throw it out into the flat, making a move, and taking the ball out to the numbers was number 12. That's Grant Brunell, his 7th catch of this football game, and the sophomore is playing like a super sophomore here. Easy pitch and catch, really, JP.
Well, it's just excellent, sound, fundamental football tonight all the way around for Liberty, and credit to the offense for Liberty, a quarterback Brock Mast. And another thing they've done really well tonight, Kevin, they haven't made that big mistake. They haven't thrown the interception to give Red Mountain a chance to get back in the football game.
They did throw one pick to Skyler Edmonds in that first quarter, and Skyler returned it for a touchdown, only to have it called back, or very close to the score. It's been a challenging night here for Red Mountain. They're playing a much better football team than they played a week ago, and this is the kind of game, if you're Red Mountain, you have a chance to grow up in and win, perhaps. And there's a smart play by the senior quarterback, Brock Mast. He had pressure coming in a hurry, did Mast. 54 applying the pressure. Vincent Glovna give him a pressure or a hurry if you like to keep that stat. 2nd and 10. That's a smart play by the senior quarterback to just dump it.
Yeah, a very heady play. He knew the pressure was coming from the other side, and instead of forcing the ball and forcing either the interception, which would be devastating right now because Liberty's on a roll, 17-0, a heady play that time for Mast.
He's got Knapp going in motion. There's Glovna, and somehow Mast is able to get rid of the football, and he does so right on the line of scrimmage. Zach Wallace caught the pass. Kind of a slip screen type there, and he made the catch as Brock Mast was getting clubbed by Vincent Glovna, and that's another athletic play by the quarterback Brock Mast to get rid of that football in the nick of time.
An athletic play, scrambling out to his right-hand side, and once again, Liberty with the available safety outlet right there.
Third and 1 from the 25-yard line. Seems like this defense has been on the field the entire night. They go right up the middle, and there's nobody home. Running into a brick wall. Vince Glovna was that brick wall right next to Parker McClure. And the ball carrier got stuffed short, so it'll be 4th down again. And does Colin Thomas roll the dice here? He's 4 for 4 on 4th downs here this evening.
Yeah, you're at the point in the field right there at the 26. You could probably go for it, being up 17-0. And if the worst case scenario happens, either an interception or an incompletion, you don't convert, then Red Mountain takes over pretty deep in their own territory.
Zacchaeus Cooper flanked to the left to Brock Mast. Now he goes in motion. 3 wide receivers now for Mast. High snap on a play fake. Double move going towards Cooper, and the ball is dropped in the end zone. Zacchaeus Cooper running that fly route. He was the motion man, the action guy, if you will, and he just dropped the touchdown pass. But another good ball there by Brock Mast, and quite frankly, Brock Mast is playing a very good football game tonight. He's managed this game well for Liberty.
He's done a great job tonight. That was a great pass on time. You saw the acceleration that time from Cooper, just trying to catch up to that one, but just needed about a half, maybe a quarter step more to get it.
And James, for the first time tonight on 4th down, Red Mountain will get the football on a turnover on downs. So they're 4 for 5 is Colin Thomas's football team here tonight. Here comes Evan Swoboda, trailing by 17 points here with 4:14 to go in the 3rd quarter. Swoboda, shotgun snap. He rolls to the near side, and the pass is incomplete. That one's down on the turf. Drake Bourne, the intended target, unable to haul that one in. In the area with coverage defensively for Liberty, that was Julian Girth. Girth, 5'9", $175.
You know, the worst part on some of these incompletions tonight, Kevin, these guys are open. They're running wide open, and if they just catch the ball, if they can just make that connection, easy 5, 10 plus more yards.
Braden Croteau, defensive tackle, 6 foot 250. His brother Braxton's playing at Cal. He's had a great game on that defensive line. As Jack Stam's been a little quiet here, but because that line play has been impressive. They run it on the ground, does Red Mountain. Looks like the ball carrier was Josiah Villanueva, and he's unable to shake loose. So this offensive line that played so well last week, I talked to Coach Rooks about the improvement from one week to the next. He said, hey, Aranda Pinon got better during last week's game. He also said Robert Tallamontes got better in the game, and that bodes well for Coach Rooks in this group. But tonight, they're getting beat up a little bit by this Liberty defensive line.
Well, the defensive line for Liberty is miles above what this offensive line for Red Mountain had to face last week in Westwood. No discredit to Westwood, but this is a state championship defensive line right here that Red Mountain's up against.
They're showing blitz. Swoboda rolls out to the far side. The ball is incomplete. Coming back to make a diving attempt at the football was Kai Hanohano, and that is a 4th down situation now for Mike Peterson, and he's going to have to bring on the punting unit once again. You can see Drake Bourne have a conversation with Diego Hernandez, the wide receiver coach, and Swoboda and him are having a conversation there with Kai Hanohano, as Swoboda is a little bit frustrated right now.
Yeah, that was a little chance right there for Red Mountain. Still in the third quarter, about 4.5 minutes left when they started that first down there. A chance to get back in the ball game, and they squandered it.
Well, one thing that Red Mountain clearly misses from a season ago is a big play threat like Jared Wilson. And I think there will be a necessary emergence on this wide receiver core, whether it be Lennox Lawson or Drake Bourne or perhaps Anthony Carrington, maybe Arthur Carrington or Ethan Swoboda. One of those guys is going to have to step up in the very near future. In fact, right now, if Red Mountain would like to come back from behind and win this football game, they're going to need some big plays and some quick scores if they'd like to win this game.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, we've both seen this football team put many points on the board and not a whole lot of time here at Red Mountain High School. So anything's possible, but they're going to have to buckle down and really start getting it done. And we keep waiting. We talked about it the entire game, waiting for someone to emerge, waiting for someone to arrive at the party.
Corley gets the call here, sweeps to the far side, and just as he turns the corner, he gets his feet taken out from underneath him. Josh Campos, one of those guys there to defend the play. Campos will take himself out of the ball game. When Josh Campos gives way, sometimes they'll go to Jaden Hurst. Sometimes they'll move Kobe Sarna around. The Mountain Lions trailing here, 17-0. Yep, Jaden Hurst wearing 77. Jasper Parks, old number. Shout out to Mike Thompson if you're watching tonight's game. We understand that over 1,000 people watched last week's Westwood game on our opening night as Gabe Cook comes up to make a nice play. Red Mountain's going to have to start to force the issue here, James, if they want to get back in this one.
Yeah, they're going to definitely have to force the issue. But the first thing they got to do, they got to stop this Liberty offense again because they're on defense. And you mentioned this defense has been on the football field a majority of this football game tonight.
3rd and 4 from the 40-yard line. You like to think this is the possession play, but they like to go for it so much. They play that Madden style of ball. They'll go for it on 4th down. Play action, pass, mash. Far side of that ball is too tall. And let's just wait to see how they call that one.
No flag.
You just wondered. That was Ross Kloss defensively for Red Mountain, and they get a stop here as Jared Butler celebrates with his teammates just a little bit there. Back deep is Daniel Butler and George Ramirez. So, James, if you and I are playing OC right now, we're going to have to get George Ramirez involved in this football game right about now.
Yeah, I think you need to do maybe a little bit of play action, Kevin, because right now this Liberty defense is kind of sitting in a prevent. They're up. They got a nice lead. They're comfortable right now. So you got to try to draw that defensive end and maybe catch somebody sleeping and go over the top.
A left-footed punter here. That's Xavier Fendenheim, a free safety. He's 6'1", 145, and just put that left foot into that one. Not really a punt like Ray Guy, but it was effective. And the way that Red Mountain's going right now, they've got their work cut out for them. And even though they've got good field position, the way their offense is kind of sputtering here tonight, this is a long way to go for 6 points.
Well, they've got to get a couple of good plays in. They got to get a little bit more confidence going, get a couple of first downs in a row, start really ticking away on this Liberty defense and get something going.
1:36 to go. We get a little stop and play.
No rhythm.
It's been an ugly game to watch. Chandler beat Liberty 44-10. It was 23-3 at the break last week, and Chandler had a commanding lead, but they really played a better game as the game wore on, did Liberty against Chandler.
Yeah, they know how to weather the storm, Kevin, and that's definitely the sign of a good team. Obviously, state championship team beating this Red Mountain football team 34-28 in last December's state championship at Sun Devil Stadium. And Liberty knows how to weather the storm. They know how to come back from a deficit. And tonight, they just been in the driver's seat. They're just playing great, sound, fundamental football and just carrying this through.
Special thank you to our 2020 Copper and Bronze sponsors, Pool Landscape, AZ, Swanson's, West Plumbing, Pacino's, Patriot Fire Systems, and MC2 Life Coaching. That ball is incomplete. Shane Pitts up in the area defensively. It's 2nd and 10. Diego Hernandez with some offensive instruction for Evan Swoboda. Nas Bryant is the tailback. Everybody's checking out their wristbands for this particular play call as Red Mountain now has deployed a no-huddle offense here, trailing by 17 with $1:33 to go in the third. Quarterback draw, here comes Swoboda. Swoboda looking for some blockers, and he just gets leveled at the 42-yard line. Now there's a late hit in from Liberty, and that was a late hit with authority. Looked like a little forearm shiver there towards the headgear of Evan Swoboda, as Evan Swoboda now will come up just a little bit ginger, kind of limping on that right leg. And I'm not sure if Evan Swoboda can answer the bell on this next play call.
Now, we talked a little bit previously about possibly seeing Jaden Daniels, and Swoboda took, I would classify that as a cheap shot, Kevin. How about you?
I think so, yeah, which is kind of uncharacteristic in a good football game here like this, but we've seen a couple shots back and forth. You and I both agree they weren't warranted for Red Mountain, but here comes Swoboda playing with some toughness as Daniels starts to warm up just a little bit. Number 8 is starting to get loose for Red Mountain. Jalen Daniels, 6'4", 200. This is really just in case that Swoboda has to fight through that right knee, maybe a contusion, but he does appear to have a little hitch in his giddy-up right now. James, would you agree?
Yeah, he does. He's definitely slow to bounce around out there, and obviously you see Jaden Daniels getting more and more here on the near sideline.
Swoboda, quick pass out in the flat. Making a catch is Daniel Butler. The Beasts with the 2 hands on that one as he steps out of bounds. They move the chains. It was 1st and 5 after the 15-yard on sportsmanlike. And now Red Mountain with a little mojo here, trailing by 17, working left to right.
You know, you never know what might spark a football team, Kevin. That little cheap shot there from Liberty obviously has gotten Evan Swoboda a little bit more determined as he's gutting it out here for the offense. And it's great to see him in the football game still here and not giving way.
Checking in is Ethan Swoboda on the far side. Gage Skidmore is also in the ballgame, and Drake Bourne lined up to the near side. We get a procedure penalty against Red Mountain. I don't even know if they had a chance to get set, James. They're calling.
It looked like they were still walking up to the line when they threw a flag. But, you know.
By the way, as you listen to tonight's game on the Red Mountain TV, the Red Mountain Broadcast Network, let us know where you're in. Hit us at KDB Voice. We're taking roll call tonight. Where are you watching tonight's game from? Hit me at KDB Voice and at JP_Beatcast. That's my partner, James Poopy. They give it to Ramirez, spins out of a tackle to the boundary, and George Ramirez lowering that shoulder and blowing up would-be tacklers. That time it was George Ramirez going one-on-one with Jack Stams. Hello, Jax.
That's good to see. Georgie says, you know what, if no one else is going to get upset about this, I might have to get upset about it.
And it was about time that Jack Stam came in there and made a play as he put the shoulder down, headgear down, coming in, missile attack, and Georgie just stands him up. That is outstanding. 3-yard gain here. All of that for just 3 yards, if you can believe that. Swoboda back to work. 2nd and 7 for the Liberty 29. Play fake. Nobody was home. Here comes the blind blitz, and there goes Swoboda. He's down. Ball's loose. They fight for it right on the boundary. Let's see who's got the football. And Red Mountain has the ball. The referee indicates it's the Mountain Lions recovered it. Who recovered that ball? Number 52, Robert Tallamontes. Johnny on the spot. Let's call it Robert on the spot. Outstanding timing for him.
And how about that defense for Liberty? I mean, Swoboda standing tall in the pocket, but coming from the blind side, number 32, Cody Horn, 5'11", 198, and he lowered the boom on Swoboda, and he coughed it up.
Yeah, the blind side hit came in from Cody Horn. 3rd and 16 from the 38-yard line. Loss of 11. Swoboda to the air. It's George Ramirez, and Georgie is going to continue to just fight through there as if he was running through tires right there. He still just didn't want to go down as Shane Pitts says hello real quick. So 25.5 on the game clock. You got to feel this is 4-down territory here for Mike Peterson's football team. Down by 17 here. So they'll give Georgie another 4 or 5 yards on that. 4th and 10 here from the Liberty 32-yard line. Ethan Swoboda to the far side. Lennox lost it down in the SWAT as Drake Bourne now gets the play call. Now Lennox will join him, bunched right behind him. There goes Lennox in motion. They give it to Lennox Lawson, and Lawson's going to lose his footing in the backfield, and he's going to go down. Huge play for the Lions. Once again, Cody Horn. Successive plays, they snuff it out on 4th down, a change of possession, a turnover on downs, and Liberty gets the football right back.
An impressive job there. Cody Horn, 2 great plays in a row. He runs off the field like he's going to go warm up the bus and get it ready to go home tonight. What a great job defensively there for Liberty, and credit to Evan Swoboda for standing tall after those couple of nasty hits he took there, but unfortunately not able to get it done offensively.
Tough break right there. There's a lot of things going wrong here for this Red Mountain offense as you see Daniels really start to heat up now as if he was in the bullpen and like he's been tipped off that he's coming into the game. Still no word on that, but Liberty now back in command here, 21.9. It's Brock Mast quarterback. They want to throw it. They throw it out in the near flat. Jordan Guevara makes the first man miss, still on his feet, and he'll finally get gang tackled there by a host of Mountain Lion defenders, led there by 47 Tyler Brown and about 3 more of his friends.
Yeah, it was gang tackle city right there.
So they'll call it a gain of 4. 3 quarters are in the books from Red Mountain High School. Our score, Liberty 17, Red Mountain 0. 4th and final quarter coming up next.
Once again, Red Mountains, copper and bronze sponsors are Pool Landscape Arizona, Sonsons, West Plumbing, Pacino's, Patriot Fire System, NC2 Life Coaching, Ortho Arizona, Diesel Muscle, and Living Word Bible Church. And our silver and gold sponsors are Tuck's Fine Meats, Dr. Corey Giles, Steve's Crazy Subs, AZ Family and Sports Medicine, Bingham Dermatology, Allen Company, Palabra de Vida, McDonald Orthodontics, Goat Sports Grill, and Sierra Signs. Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of this evening's contest, Liberty spectators, you will exit the stadium to the southwest past the lighted sand volleyball courts. Red Mountain fans will exit directly behind near the home bleachers. The field will be closed after the game to all spectators. Thank you. Second down and 5 for Liberty at their own 44 as we begin the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter Here's the voice of Red Mountain football, Kevin Derryberry.
Here we go to begin the fourth quarter. It's Brock Mast. They set up a screen on the far side of the football field. Nice job of getting there defensively by Gabriel Cook and company. So Mast, they'll call it no gain on that particular play. Zacchaeus Cooper is in the ball game now. So you got to watch out for the big play threat that Zacchaeus Cooper brings. Of course, Cooper, 669 a season ago, an injury-plagued season for him, 4 touchdowns. We talked about his receiving prowess. He's a good one. He dropped the touchdown pass here tonight. 3rd and 4 from the 45-yard line. Mast looking left. He's going to scramble. He's going to run the football now. 50. Boundary outside, and he's going to slide in, much like Kyler Murray. And he's going to give himself up at the 46-yard line. I thought he reached the 45, but they're going to move him back a yard. And that's a 1st and 10 for Liberty as they continue to move the football here in unconventional ways.
And you won't believe this, Kevin. There's a flag on the play.
Yes, there's another penalty on the play. And we're going to let them sort this one out. Some of the fans here in attendance starting to get a little unruly, if you will. They're starting to get agitated by the length of the game, the heat outside, and just it's a penalty-marred game. That's what it is.
Yeah, not a whole lot of rhythm here to this one tonight. Not a whole lot of rhythm, obviously, to this Red Mountain offense here tonight as well, and we just keep waiting for someone to emerge. You know, they don't really have a bell cow, it seems, to hand the ball off to when things aren't going well for Evan Svoboda. He's doing a great job in the pocket, took those cheap shots there over the last few minutes, and it's a rough one tonight here.
Mast puts it in the belly of Zacchaeus Cooper, tries to pick a lane, lower that shoulder, and he delivers punishment as he goes right through the line of scrimmage. Cole Laureate, George Ramirez right there defensively for Red Mountain. It looks like Jared Butler. He started off with a run of about 4 plays in a row. He made the tackles on JB with an assist in there as Zacchaeus Cooper gives way here for the sophomore Zach Wallace. Special thank you to Liberty running back coach Ryan Logan. Appreciate the conversation I had with him before the game, getting a little lowdown on his football team. So Brock Mast has done a great job here as Red Mountain shows a little stemming on that defensive line here. Play fake, Mast, pylon, far side. Ball is caught. Let's see what the official says, and he says it's a touchdown.
Wow.
A long call by the official. Brock Mast, a pretty pass to, I believe it was Jordan Guevara. Jonah's little brother making an impact here, and the Guevaras continue to do damage against Red Mountain, and they make it paid.
What a beautiful pass there. I am really impressed with Brock Mast tonight. He's done a great job, Kevin. Not only throwing the football, he's able to run it. He's got great speed, and he just threw that ball into the left corner, and a beautiful catch there. Great extension for Jordan Guevara. Touchdown, Liberty Lions.
You know, when you look at Mast, you're not going to pick him first to be your captain when you're playing ball at recess. But what he does is he makes plays, and that ball was about as accurate as you can throw a pass. That was just a brilliant throw. Great catch there by Jordan Guevara. And, yeah, he doesn't look flashy. He's not going to have that Swoboda-type arm, but he's efficient.
Oh, my goodness. He's efficient and consistent.
Shane Pitts misses the point after try. So with 10-17 to go in this football game, our score is now Liberty 23, Red Mountain 0. And when you look at the style of play for Shane Pitts, he's their redhead out there. Huge game in the state title game last year, almost 70 tackles last season. He's just a good football player. And you look what he does with his leg. Last year, he was 56 out of 60 in point after tries. He was 7-9 in field goals with a long of 37, and he scored 77 points. That's good for 4th in the 6A, while making 69 tackles, tackling guys beyond the line of scrimmage, intercepting balls. This kid's a true playmaker.
Very, very good ball player, and one of the best, as you mentioned, in the 6A.
Last year, second leading returning tackler on this Liberty defense. And the stat line, 32 solos, 36 helpers, 68, 4 interceptions, and get this, 9 passes defense. This kid is all over the place.
Complete football player on the defensive side of the ball for Liberty, and a difference maker along with Mr. Jack Stam.
Yeah, Jack Stam think about this. Stam registered 12 tackles and defended 3 passes against the Mountain Lions in that state championship game. He looked pretty good playing every day at Sun Devil Stadium. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
We like to talk to our guys. James likes to recruit for the Wildcats. I've always tried to be a solid recruiter and giver of ASU football. The Sun Devils, my beloved Devils, and Herm Edwards. Special thank you to some of our other additional sponsors. Proud appreciation of Red Mountain Football. Ortho AZ, Diesel Muscle, Living Word Bible Church. And, of course, all of our good friends in the Silver and Gold Mountain Lion sponsorship, including Chuck's Fine Meats and Dr. Corey Giles. All right, here we go. It's Red Mountain on the return of the kickoff, and a good drive there by the return man. Is that pile? It's amazing. The guys are just trying to set up their offense. They get blown for a false start, and here the guy had the ball for 10 minutes, stacked up 1,800 people going together, and they don't blow the whistle. I'm just at a loss for words tonight with this particular group.
Oh, man. You can't help but wonder, maybe it's the first time they've worked together, Kev, or it's second week of the season, but some of the calls here tonight are highly questionable, to say the least.
To say the least. So Nas Bryant will check in. They run it on the far side. Nas Bryant, 2 touchdowns last week, and he can't get anything going here tonight. This ground game is non-existent here this evening, unfortunately.
Well, it's credit as well, once again to that Liberty defensive line. We talk about Jack Stam, a number of other stars on the defensive side of the football, but Liberty just too tough.
I'm going one-on-one with Carrington right here. I'm throwing the home run ball. Ball is batted down, and it's picked off and intercepted. The Liberty Lions have just picked off Evan Swoboda, a deflection. Intercepting that football was Zay Johnson, and Zay Johnson is the same man that picked the ball off Hiram Bourne in the state championship game in overtime, and Zay Johnson with an exclamation point right here.
Yeah, that one deflected. It bounced off of another player and off the top of his head, I believe, and then pulled out of the air. Very unfortunate now, and unfortunately as well, Kevin, we now see the Red Mountain faithful, some of them rising up and starting to head to the exits. I'm trying to think of the last time that we've stood in this booth here down 23-0 in the fourth quarter.
It has been quite some time. Mike Peterson has never lost more than 3 times in a campaign. It will be interesting to see how things play out this year, but it starts at the quarterback position. Kyle Anders can keep these guys in it for so long. The threshold for the offense for Red Mountain has always been 28 points. Right now, they're sitting on a bagel. So they've got their work cut out for them as Parker McClure shows blitz. High snap for Mass. They put it into the belly of Zacchaeus Cooper, and Zacchaeus Cooper really just hasn't been able to get going here tonight. Credit the defensive line and Matt Kelly and his group on what they're doing here this evening. But Liberty has just been really, really strong in the trenches on both sides of the football.
They have indeed, and it's not really that Red Mountain has played a horrible game on defense. You mentioned Coach Enders has really kept this Red Mountain football team in the game and held off this Liberty Lions offense as much as he can, but he just hasn't gotten any help from the offensive side of the football tonight.
2nd and 6 from the 36-yard line, as Liberty now will use the clock to their advantage here. 8:44 to go. They're in the driver's seat and winning this game. They masked on the zone read, turns the corner, works up the sideline, and just casually jogs out of bounds as Ethan Peterson gets the force out. 23-0 our score. Clock stopped at 8:34 to go, and for Red Mountain, just the inability to get their offense going here tonight has really been the culprit in this one.
Yeah, it has. Like I said, no real superstar has emerged here for this football team. 2 great quarterbacks available. We'll check on Evan Swoboda after the game and then follow up on his progress next week after taking those couple of cheap shots. But they're just not able to get any sort of rhythm going offensively and pick up first downs. There was one drive where they moved the football down the field coming back after the halftime, but aside from that, it's been pretty much non-existent offensively for tonight for Red Mountain.
Cody Mclaughlin hustles onto the field. They run it up the middle, going back to Zach Wallace, and Zach Wallace has delivered a blow there got himself free for a second. Then here comes the conversion. About 5 Mountain Line defenders all over him, led there by Skyler Edmonds. What a difference a week makes, but that's what football is all about. From one Friday night to the next, you have got to be prepared.
Well, obviously the entire football team will be disappointed about this one here, assuming that they're not able to recover from this 23-0 deficit. But overall, Skyler Edmonds has had himself a pretty good ball game here tonight, Kev.
You better believe it. There's always a lot of positives in a ball game like this. We happen to be focusing on some of the challenges right now, down by 23. Mast again using the play clock, and they go right up the middle to Zacchaeus Cooper, and Zacchaeus Cooper tried to get to that second level there, and then Cole Loria said, I'll have nothing to do with that. Actually, it might have been Jaden Hurst, and Cole Loria, there was 3 sevens in there. How about the lucky 7 right there? Cole Loria wearing 7, and then 77 Jaden Hurst.
Yeah, that was a gang tackle right there. Great job by both those defenders on the Red Mountain side of the ball.
Famous defensive lineman wearing 77. Go.
Lyle Alzado. That's about the biggest one, right?
That's right.
Former
big
Raider and defensive Denver Bronco, don't forget.
Mecklenburg? What number?
Mecklenburg, 77 as well.
Boom.
Yep.
Knowledge is king right there.
That's right.
KDB with James Poovey on the broadcast tonight. Red Mountain taking on the chin here. Mass wants to throw. Looking for that double move. He throws on the run. Ball's going towards the end zone. The ball is going to be caught for a touchdown. Liberty on the receiving end of that one. Sam Wolfer. Another touchdown for Sam Wolfer, and another beautifully thrown pass by Brock Mast. Wow. Corner route, near end zone, beautifully thrown ball over 2 defenders, and Liberty is looking really good here. Ready to tack on here at the 6:41 mark. It's 29-0. Liberty in a big-time spot.
Boy, just an absolute onslaught here tonight from Liberty. You know, we talked a little bit earlier today, Kevin, before the game tonight about Liberty having lost a few seniors last year, but you sure can't tell it here tonight.
Yeah, we talked about all the chippiness at the lower levels, the freshmen, as Coach Joe Ulani picks up his first victory as the head coach for the freshmen. They won it 40-37. The Jays lost 26-14. Coach Runge's team couldn't get it done, but our crack staff here, Tyler Abel, getting it done. And the last time that Red Mountain was shut out was back in 2010. They got shut out by Steve Bellis and the Hamilton Huskies. So that's not something that Red Mountain does very often. And what I have found to be interesting is that the Mountain View Toros last weekend on Friday Night Fever with Cam Cox and friends, they had the Zoom group, so it was the everybody was joining the show via social media. They were all in a Zoom hangout.
Right. Yeah.
And the Mountain View tailback was calling out Red Mountain. They play each other next week. So we get the Battle of Brown Road next week.
Oh.
And you got a guy from the Toros calling out Red Mountain. It's just interesting. In that public persona, in that community group of these student athletes, all throughout the state, they all have a little bit of an axe to grind towards Red Mountain. I find that to be fun, challenging, and interesting at the same time.
Well, it's always fun, that Battle of Brown Road. You mentioned Mountain View and Red Mountain, and obviously Mountain View is going to be a little bit more jaded towards Red Mountain because Red Mountain's success last year against going all the way to the 6A state title game against this Liberty Lion football team here tonight, who has put on a most impressive show. Offensively, defensively, special teams, you name it. I mean, these guys getting it done, and they are poised to be another powerhouse here this season in 2020.
If you're Liberty and you can continue to take care of business and run the table, and you are 7-1 and your only loss is Chandler, you're going to be a Super 8 football team.
Indeed. No question about it whatsoever.
And they're playing like one here tonight. Red Mountain needs to get Josiah or Lennox Lawson loose on this particular play here. 6:41 to go. It's all Liberty in an all-Lion matchup here.
Will this be the first shutout since 2010?
Good knowledge there from Tyler Ebel, the voice of Red Mountain football. And that kick is pooched and it goes out of bounds. We were just talking about the idea of having Lennox Lawson get the football and Josiah Villanueva get the ball into those speed guys. And well, Liberty's done a masterful job of keeping the football away from Red Mountain's playmakers.
Well, the defensive line is just forcing the issue all night long. Evan Swoboda, when he's had time to throw, unfortunately not able to connect with the receivers. Either the ball's thrown too hard or the ball's dropped by the receiver. They try to turn upfield too quickly, and just too much power on defense tonight from Liberty, and Red Mountain just not able to get it going offensively.
So here comes Swoboda. They're down 30. He's got 3 wide receivers to work with, and there goes Drake Bourne. He'll set up on the far side. They run it to Villanueva, and Villanueva is going to get drilled on the far sideline. For Red Mountain, at this point, it's about identity, and they're just trying to find some positive here in this fourth quarter. Can they get some positive yardage running the football? Can they get the play fakes going on? I talk about with other coaches and buddies, we talk about Red Mountain football throughout the week, and I like the idea of setting up some screens for these tailbacks, getting these speed guys involved. Lennox Lawson's one of those guys. But the time it takes to practice to prepare screens, it is a process, and so it's not the easiest thing to do. As Swoboda fires over the middle, good protection that time. He hits Gage Skidmore in stride, and Skidmore is grabbed immediately by Shane Pitts and company. So it'll be 3rd and a long one for Red Mountain here. Swoboda gets the play as he goes back in the huddle here with 5:46 to go in this ball game.
Got to take a shot, Kev. 3rd and 1.
I see this one-on-one coverage to the cornerback, and I try to get ball to Anthony Carrington, even if he's not open. I'm just taking a shot, like you say, James.
Go deep, young man.
They give the ball to George Ramirez with speed. George makes a man miss. He's at the 45-yard line in Liberty territory, and he'll run downhill to the 43-yard line, and really that might have been the most positive run of the night for George Ramirez and this Red Mountain offense.
Well, that right there is the Red Mountain offense in a nutshell right now, Kevin, unfortunately. And now Georgie is coming off limping.
Yeah, Georgie's coming off. He did his best to run off the football field, but he's also a true professional in every sense of the word for Georgie. And once he got to the boundary, James, he just went down.
Yeah, that's tough to watch, Kevin.
They're calling over Shelly Herseth, our trainer, and that is the Red Mountain Mountain Lions can ill afford to lose George Ramirez, I'll tell you that much. Swoboda on the run. He throws too tall for Daniel Butler. Jack Stam was there all coiled up, ready to tee off on Daniel Butler.
Oh, was he ever.
Jack Stam is a tremendous football player. He's just one of those guys that there hasn't been any action his way so much tonight.
There hasn't.
Surprisingly.
And it's probably going to be one of his lowest tackle outputs, if you will, Kevin, of his career, but it's going to be his defensive line's fault.
And he'll turn around and say, hey, if we pitch a shutout, I'll take no tackles and a win and a shutout every day of the week.
All the time.
Swoboda sends Daniel Butler in motion. They run it to Nas Bryant. Nas starts inside, tries to break it outside, and he's got nowhere to go. This defensive front four for Liberty has been dominant all evening long.
They have
no other way for it.
Yeah, exactly. Pressure up the middle, pressure coming off the edge. They do a great job with outside contain. If Red Mountain tries to get outside with it, they force the issue, and there's just nothing there.
Swoboda back up there. He wants to throw right. He does. He drops it off into the hands of the tailback. I think that's Villanueva. And Villanueva is going to back into some trouble there. He'll pick up 3 or 4 tough earned yards right there as Liberty continues just to lay the lumber out there.
Yeah, they do, and they continue to talk as well on the field tonight. A little bit of bad blood between these two teams. You mentioned this is only the second all-time meeting.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to fathom that they have bad blood, but before the game, they were kind of taunting each other a little bit on the far end zone down there, and you knew it was going to be that kind of battle, but Liberty getting the best of it tonight.
Swoboda with a 4th and 5, and his pass out into the flat for Josiah Villanueva is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Getting his mitts up there for Liberty was 43 Blake Thompson, 6'3", 220. And when you're Swoboda at 6'5", 220, you'd think he could make that pass, but credit the defender that time. Thompson with a huge play, another change of possession, a turnover on downs for Red Mountain, and Liberty gets the football back.
I've said it all night long, fundamentally sound football. It's on display here tonight for Liberty, and Blake Thompson, another great example of that. Great edge play there, shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, hands go up as soon as the quarterback cocks his arm back, and batted ball.
3:53 to go on this one. James, let's take a look at the Liberty schedule. Their next game, they get Sunrise Mountain at home in non-conference affairs. Zacchaeus Cooper gets the football. Then they play Queen Creek, part of the 6A Fiesta region. We know how good they are, so that's going to be a tough game. That'll be another measuring stick, a barometer type game. Then they have Chaparral on their schedule. Then they get Pinnacle, Brophy Prep, and Centennial. Is that a schedule that you can run out the string on? I'm not sure they can run the table. Those are very formidable opponents. But I'll tell you what, if they play like they played tonight, they could do it.
Well, they'll be in every ball game for sure, especially if they play the way they played here tonight at Red Mountain.
3:17 to go as the clock continues to roll out. Much of the faithful here has parted ways for this one. I'm sure most of them have gone home, and they're picking up the last part of the fourth quarter on Red Mountain TV. I can't imagine they tune into your view at this point, would they?
Well, you don't know.
Our good guy, Chris Harris down there, a professional in every sense of the word. Dale Hellestrey, a 4-time Super Bowl champion, on the call with that one. James, that's the only thing that Dale has on you is the 4 rings. That's it. That's it.
I love you for that, man.
I mean, as
I
far
really
as
do.
ability, I worked with you for this is our 5th year now.
Fifth year.
I think you're in my wheelhouse, buddy. You deliver for us, and Dale's cool, but I mean, whatever. 4 rings. Dallas, the Cowboys, man, how bad are good grief? How bad are the Cowboys right about now?
Ooh, well, they're injury laden. I'd say
they have no D. I believe that former Basha head coach is running their defense.
Yes.
His name has escaped me. Good guy, though. Good
yes.
guy. Cooper, or is it 9, Wallace? It was 7, Coloria to blow up the play. And I might say that Coloria has made a few plays. He was one of my impact players of the game. Georgia was the first guy, but Coloria was my 3rd guy tonight.
It's great to see Coloria progress over the last couple seasons. He's really come into his own here on this Red Mountain defense, and he is a natural leader for this squad.
Nice job for the defensive unit that time. They force a punting situation here.
There comes Cole's old jersey running off the field, 47 there.
I think the next important thing for Red Mountain is to find out, locate, where's George Ramirez? Because the last time we saw him on the field, he hobbled in. So for Red Mountain and Coach Peterson, his team will have to go back to work and figure a few things out. A lot of frustration on this sideline. Red Mountain clearly prepared to come into this ball game and hand it to Liberty. I think the fact that Liberty played Chandler week 1 was actually a benefit for them. They got beat up a little bit, not exposed, beat up.
Sure.
But they found out how tough of a football team they were, and they knew coming into it, we're not going to play Chandler every week. So for them, they probably thought they had an easier road to success tonight, but Red Mountain just hasn't met the match tonight.
Well, we're both pretty familiar with the game of football, I would say, at this point in our lives. And you're going to know that going in and getting tested against a team like Chandler, who is obviously one of the top teams not only in the state but in the country, is going to give you an accurate measuring stick, and playing Westwood is not going to do the same thing.
They run a little delay to Nas Bryant.
Nas Bryant on the carry. Tackled by Kyle Bookout.
Nas with a couple of yards. Defensively for Liberty.
Thought we might even see Jeremy Knutson in there for a couple plays tonight, Kev.
They just threw the book at Nas Bryant. That was Kyle Bookout, the linebacker, 6'3", 165. How about that name? Kyle Bookout. Swoboda into the gut of Nas Bryant, running full steam straight ahead. Gets tripped up after a 7-yard gain. And a little Fahrenheit 451 situation here. Throwing the book out again. Kyle Bookout. That was a Ray Bradbury novel. Fahrenheit 451.
Wow.
11 seconds to go on this one. Liberty's going to win it, and Liberty will even up their books to 1-1, and Red Mountain will even up their books to 1-1, but they get Mountain View next week. They run it to Josiah Villanueva, bounce at the outside 40, turn to the corner at 45, and he'll get to the 49-yard line, and he'll be knocked out of bounds right there. And that's how this football game comes to a close here from Red Mountain High School here in East Mesa, where the Liberty Lions make the 57-mile jaunt across town They come to Red Mountain High School, and they put it to the Mountain Lions. They beat them in the state championship game. They reload, reorganize, reshuffle the deck, and they come here to Mesa, and they win again, this time in grand fashion. They get the shutout, 30-0.
Well, you mentioned the reload for Liberty, and it was hard to even tell if they lost any steam from last season, Kevin. They came out here and almost looked stronger tonight than they did even back in December, if you can believe that.
And Jonah Guevara played a great game. He was a dual-threat quarterback, but Brock Mast tonight, he delivered. And tell you what, they did just enough, but I think he was the difference of the game. And the fact that Red Mountain couldn't get any offense at all, they couldn't generate anything, was really a tough one here tonight.
Well, it's sad when, unfortunately, Georgie Ramirez, who is your all-everything player, has to be the leading rusher on the football team tonight. And just no one else able to really get it going offensively. Swoboda tried. He took some shots late in the game, but just not able to establish any sort of rhythm tonight.
So, James, I know the burning question for everybody right now at home that watching this game that took it in from around the great state 48 is, hey, what's up, DK? DK, our guy, Audie Atkins in the house here tonight. But the question will be, if you're Josh Barge and you're Mike Peterson, how do you address the offense here in the next couple of days?
Well, they named Evan Swoboda starting quarterback officially this week. I'm wondering if that might play into the head a little bit of a quarterback, kind of, okay, the battle's over now. It's my job. But, it's always your job to lose. And Evan's going to have to play better next game. I don't know how else to sugarcoat it, Kevin.
Well, you know what? Everybody's favorite player is the backup quarterback. That's how it always is.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's at every level. They always want to see the other guy, especially when things happen the way that they did here tonight. But we can't take away what Swoboda did last week. He played very well here. This is a different football team. This is a championship football team that they just lost. And you can see Brock Mast addressing the team as they're all on a knee. But their quarterback looks like he's the leader of this football team. And when you have that kind of leadership on the field, I don't want to use the term and abuse the term because people are using this for everything now, but that's kind of special.
It is special. It is special. And the thing about Brock Mast, not only does he get it done at the quarterback position, but he's got the surrounding cast around him, and he's got the defense that can keep him in the game. And if he's able to just stand tall in the pocket and deliver the football like he's able to, no telling how far this team's going to go this year.
Liberty, we just talked about it. They got a tough schedule. Now, real quick, some positives for this football team for Red Mountain. Skyler Edmonds stands out.
Yes, Skyler Edmonds. Another one, great job tonight. Cole Loria on defense as well.
Absolutely.
Had another great game tonight. Both those guys had great games last week, so you can count on those guys. You can always count on George Ramirez, and we'll keep him in our thoughts and prayers as well as we get an update on his status.
We'll close out. It's back to the identity. What kind of football team is this when they have the football? Are they slinging it? Do they want to be a balanced team like they were last week? Obviously, tonight here, they were exposed to a great deal by this Liberty football team. How talented is Liberty? Only time will tell. But they look really, really good here tonight. And when you look at the "what have you done for me lately" scenario, they just smashed them in the mouth. That's all they did.
They did. And you could officially say that Liberty is officially battle-tested, Kevin, after playing Chandler last week and what a lot of people consider is a very good Red Mountain football team, even though it didn't look like it here tonight.
So Liberty gets Sunrise Mountain next week as Red Mountain will take on Mountain View. And, everything's on against Mountain View.
Yeah, Mountain View is going to look at this one and say, hey, we've got a chance against Red Mountain, and the Battle of Brown Road will be on next Friday night up the street.
You like to talk big or go home, as they say, for Red Mountain. The Super 8 chances took a big blow here tonight, but it's about winning football games. It's about becoming a better team, developing your players, and getting better from week to week. And I think that's exactly what this coaching staff will do. They'll go right back to the film, and these guys will be back at it lifting tomorrow morning, back to the film study. And I do believe they'll be ready to answer the call against the Toros next week. If you can't get ready for Mountain View, what are we doing?
Yeah, they'll take a look at the film tomorrow morning. They'll do it hopefully expeditiously, be able to kind of wash this one away. They got to look at the things. They got to address the elephants in the room, the problems on the football field, the good things they're going to talk about as well. Then they're going to try to flush this one away and look forward to the Toros.
What are the elephants in the room, James? There's a
the
couple
elephants in the room are the suspect quarterback play.
Okay.
The non-existent running back play.
No run game.
No one on the edge to catch the football and run it down the field. No shots taken on offense. There's a few of them.
They got a challenge right now, don't they?
They do.
They got to go back to work. This is clearly back to the drawing board. You blow up everything for the last 2 weeks. It's about what can we do now, and maybe you'll start to we'll hear some rumblings in that out of the Jalen Daniels camp. Only time will tell.
You never know, my friend. Stay
tuned. For
tuned.
Our outstanding broadcast crew, Jerry McKnutson, and the entire staff, for Athletic Director Jason Grantham, Tyler Ebel, he's James Poovey. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Our final score, Liberty gets it done. They win it convincingly. They win it 30-0. And for the Mountain Lions, they got to go back to the drawing board. They get the Toros next week. We'll have all the action at 6:55 on the YouTube network and on Red Mountain TV. For all of us here, good night from East Mesa.